What is up, everybody? This is Mr. Extraordin, and I'm not alone. I'm with Rob Sibeko, a writer, a director, a film connoisseur, a cinephile of note. And he has three books out, by the way, if you didn't know. He has one called Heist, he has one called Jin's War, and he has another one called Bludgeon Ball. There's a character in there called Old Man Reddit, by the way. So, anyway. You need to check those out. They're
Hey,
available on
is that
Google.
where Raditz went when he died in Dragon Ball?
Yeah, that's why you
Yep.
don't see him anyway anymore. He went into Rob's universe.
Yeah.
You can buy all
Yeah.
those three
Gemma
books
kicked
on
him out.
Google Play. And then you have Buckmeister Cool from Meister Geek Media and Buckmeister Cool Reacts. Today it kind of looks like T'Challa. I don't know why. Just Google Captain America Civil War and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, by the way, speaking of Black Panther, he has a fan comic called Black Panther versus Kang. He also has an animated short called Black Panther versus the Super Skrull on his two channels actually. One of the channel on YouTube is called Buckmeister Cool Reacts, and then the other one is called Meister Geek Media. Okay, and then he has webtoons as well. One is called Black Fist, and the other one is called Neon Wave. So do check that out as well. And he's been helping me out with a manga called Vital Intensity, and I'm proud to announce that we have our first chapter out. It is actually available, a digital copy is available. So yeah, we're so excited about that one. If you need a copy, let us know and just let us know in the comments and then we'll make an arrangement. I
Yeah,
am
but
Mr.
also
Extraordinary.
I haven't spoken to Kim about this before. But I'm thinking that we need to get it onto I'm gonna help you like maybe try when we find some time to set up a Gumroad account, because then you can also just shoot the link to people there and they can buy it from Gumroad and you can connect it to your bank or whatever the case is.
Yeah, we spoke about
That'll
that
make it
actually
easier for people to get that.
on Wednesday, on Tuesday.
Oh, I mentioned it, yeah.
Mm. Um,
Yeah, it's a great place to sell. Like for example, with your books, if you have digital versions of your books as well, I know you have them on Google Play, but Gumroad as well, because they can connect it directly to your bank account, like a PayPal or whatever, and then you can just withdraw the funds. And also they have like a bunch of ways to sell stuff on, like it's a platform optimized for selling content.
yeah,
So
my best friend was telling me about it since last year. Sounds interesting. All right. So as I was saying, my name is Mr. Extraordin. I am part owner of this channel, African Frame, along with Rob Sibeko. I'm a podcaster, as you guys have seen. We also have Mzansi Nerds, where we talk about manga, comic books, animation, and a lot of geeky stuff. Also a creator of a lot of comic books, one of which I just mentioned now, Vital Intensity. But anyway, because I never mentioned myself or what I do, so I hope that helps. We also have a comic book that is in production called Zizbob. Rob wrote two chapters. We're currently working on the first comic book, the first chapter of the comic book. By that, I'm talking about the art. Shout out to Levile for helping us out with that. All right. Anyway, so the movie that we're going to be reviewing.
oh, you got Levile on that one. Nice.
Yeah. So the movie that we're going to be reviewing is called Dope. Uh, so moving it. Dope, the movie, the title is a bit ambiguous because of the word dope. It could mean drugs, a slang word for drugs because, some people call it dope. Or it could actually mean that something is cool or great. Also slang, street lingo. Hey, this is dope. So, I mean, they even do that in the movie, but I guess Robert will mention that. It came out in 2015, and the cast includes A$AP Rocky, includes Shamik Moore, who did Wu-Tang: The American Saga. He voiced Miles Morales in Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse. We have Forrest
He
Whitaker.
goofed when it came. He goofed when it came to Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
We have
But
Forrest
anyway,
Whitaker, who's just the narrator. You don't see him at all. We have Kirstie Clemons,
Which
who played Iris West in Justice League and the Flash movie directed by Andy Muschietti. She was also in New Girl. Initially
wait,
back in the day,
is she the lesbian friend?
yeah,
Is
back
that the
in the
lesbian
day,
friend?
yes, she is. Back in the day, she and Tessa Thompson, I used to confuse the two of them. Like back then, like in the around like 2013. Because if you remember, Tessa Thompson had already, if you remember, Rob, I don't know if you remember, she already had Dear White People out.
She's the okay. She's dear white people person.
Yes, she was the Dear White People lady, and then she was the dope lady. And they sort of kind of like
Oh,
looked alike around that time. It's just that Tessa Thompson
yes.
obviously got to have an illustrious career, and obviously I think Tessa Thompson is slightly older than her. But anyway, and then you have Zoe
I think so.
Kravitz, and then you have Tony Revolori, who plays Flash in the Spider-Man movies in the MCU, which is like the worst, in my
Flash.
opinion. This is the worst version of Flash because he's not intimidating at
I
all.
hate it. I hate
Because
it.
their take is what
And
is
people
that
go
he's
no
more of a geek
and
than Peter? Is that's it? Like
no, his take is that it's supposed to be that thing of he's a rich kid, so rich kids bully poor kids with their money or whatever. And I'm just like, first off, just no. Why? Like, first off, bullying in general, it hasn't changed that much, especially if you go to public school. Like, it's still the same. We beat you up after school and take your money. It's not that big of a difference. It still happens.
they should
And
have
then
just made
second of
him
all,
another character, not Flash, because there
not
was nothing there.
Flash.
There was
Like,
nothing there, bro. He's
because
actually their
you want to tell
friend.
me that guy's going
Like he's
no,
actually
you
their
want to tell me
homie.
that guy's going to I'm saying you want to tell me that guy's supposed to become Agent Venom somehow. I don't believe it. Not for a second. But anyway,
And then you have Lakeith Stanfield. Doesn't really have much of a big role, but he has a role nonetheless. And then you have
Lakeith Stanfield in high school. I was like, stop it. No. What in the 2002 Spider-Man Flash fighting Peter in the hall? This is a grown man
yeah.
around children. What are we doing here?
You have Vince Staples, Rick Fox, Quincy Brown, who plays a very important, interesting character, by the way. Quincy Brown, he plays a very interesting character because the main characters are looking for his dad, and he appears, and he just becomes a whole other guy who just happens to have sound equipment in his garage or something. But yeah, he plays a really
Wait,
interesting character.
Quincy Brown? Who is Quincy Brown again?
The guy with the kid with the gun, who has a sister.
Yes.
Oh, the naked sister.
Yeah, the naked sister's brother.
Oh,
Phoenix
okay.
is a nice one. That yeah,
Uh,
that
and
sums it up nicely.
yeah, and then the last person I just want to mention is Chanel Iman. I mean, okay, and obviously Amin Joseph, who is known for playing the main character's uncle in Snowfall. Quick fact: there's an actor in here called DeAndre Bonds who plays a security guard in the movie.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
The character that he's
Yeah.
playing there is connected to a movie that he did a long time ago called The Wood. Can you imagine?
Uh,
Yeah, so that was
well,
quite
like the same
interesting right
Mm.
character.
there. Pardon?
Well, like the same character.
Oh,
What do
Yeah, I think it's the same character. I
is it
remember
is this a Hector situation?
I remember
Like where the
doing
bride is just Hector and everything?
no,
you-
not like I don't think Hector is the same Hector in all of the
like
movies.
Tarantino, like Tarantino, where it's technically the same universe,
I
like
think
that.
so. I think so.
Where like
Because
all
if
the
you
characters.
remember when he was speaking to the
Side
kid.
note, I'm looking forward to the side note. I'm looking forward to the Hectorverse. Into the Hectorverse. All the different Hectors meet each other. But
If
anyway,
you remember when he was talking to like his Steinfeld, he said, "Ask whoever about me or whatever." If you remember,
Yes. Yeah, of course.
mm.
so
Yeah, I
I
remember
think
that line, yeah.
that's connected
It's
to
like a reference.
Oh, to the wood.
Yeah, yes. Just give me a second. I think it is the wood, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, so yes. So Rick Famuyiwa directed the wood, and then this guy reprised the character
Oh,
of
same director for
Stacy.
this one.
So if he was when he was talking to Lucky Saintfield, it's like,
Yeah,
ask your
Vicky.
brother about Stacy. He was talking about himself. I thought he was talking about someone else. So yeah. Anyway,
That's a nice Easter egg.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's like
That's cool.
But you know
I
how
came up with your.
dangerous I'm saying, but you know how dangerous you have to be when your name is Stacy and still people fear you.
Hey dog.
Like, what did he do?
It's like I came up with your daddy. You better ask him about Stacy.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what did like your name is Stacy and no one's roasting you? Like, what have you done? How do you have a job?
Yeah. It's
They're
like
like this is like, or is it because it's public school? They're like, we don't care about criminal records here.
it's like being
Just
called
don't stab nobody.
little John, and you're this big guy. Right. So anyway,
No,
this
Lil Jon
movie.
is one thing. I'm saying Stacy in the hood.
Okay, this movie had a budget of 9
Yes.
million, and then it made 18 million at the box office.
Okay, so it broke even, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's disappointing, but no, the critical reviews are really high, I believe. Ne?
No, but
Am I right?
remember also, this is 2015, guys. Things were not
Yeah.
that crazy at the time in terms of,
The critical reviews are high.
Yeah.
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, it got a 88% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So,
88. Well, Rotten Tomatoes, but
Yeah.
and
Tomatoes.
then
I don't know. Maybe I'm really about to be the Grinch here.
on Metric, it got like 72 out of 100. So,
Okay,
Mm.
I'm thinking maybe I'm really about to be the Grinch here. Oopsies.
Yes, you are.
Sorry, viewers.
yeah, I think you're gonna be the only one that disagrees with us because I love this movie. But anyway, I think that's all I have to say from my side about this.
All right. You sure? Now, trivia.
Unless if you want if you want me to make to mention something that didn't age like milk.
Okay, let's hear it.
This movie was executive produced by Didi and Pharrell. So
Oh,
That's fine wine, my friend. That's aged like fine. All right, cool. We ready?
yeah.
let's do it.
All right, cool. Yeah, so, oh gosh, my sweaty. First minute in. We open on some classic boom bap music. We are bombarded with 90s nostalgia, old school rappers, the old school glasses, the color, the flair, and then, only then, do we get our MC in bed waking up for the day. We start in a small conversation with the mother, a voiceover explaining small conversation. Voiceover explaining exactly who Malcolm is and explaining that he's a complete nerd. Very important.
Which I'm not a fan of this type of narration. Like again, I don't think it's ever been done better since Lord of the Rings, and I think it's because Lord of the Rings was kind of giving us context and backstory to the world or whatever. This type of stuff being narrated, I'm like, just show me. I
I
don't
think
like
I get what
just
you
have
mean.
her say.
You know, when let's say we're all siblings, and then I would have to say, oh, well, if it isn't my two brothers, like who speaks like this? I get that we're supposed to know that they're brothers, but nobody says, if it isn't my
No,
two
but like
brothers.
you know what
No.
my mom used to do when I was late for school? Kheto, Suang, late.
Yeah, she
Just put
doesn't
that
say
in the movie.
son.
Malcolm, wake up, you late.
Yeah, I hear
I
what
get
you're
what you're saying.
saying. I hear what you're saying. By the way, the mom, I mean, she's well known for portraying very two important movies. One is Set It Off, and the other one is Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And she was the mad black woman.
Spoiler alert, she really doesn't factor a lot into this plot. So if you're expecting her to be a huge feature in this movie, she's not.
Yeah.
She was here for a check and to support the community. They're still waiting for that Black Panther vibe movie to come out at this time period.
Yeah, but I think also
All right, but anyway,
the thing about movies like this sometimes, nah, sometimes I'm not saying this is a fact for this particular movie, but you find that she was in a lot of scenes, but she was cut out of those scenes. They just
Yeah,
cut them out in the editing floor.
which makes
I
no
want
sense
right.
because like isn't she like she's the emotional weight. Like cutting her out is like cutting out Furious Styles from thingy from Boys in the Hood. It's like that movie loses half of its weight without Furious in it. So I'm just like
Ah,
cutting her out because she was like already they set her up as emotional stakes of some sort, and then she was just gone, and I was like, why? But we'll get to it.
nah, I think it's because of Zoe Kravitz. You've got the emotional, you've got the heart there. You don't need two hearts in one movie. I think that would have spread it out.
The reason why I would disagree with that is because remember throughout this movie again you're going to see it in his notes. Malcolm is getting tested in his character. And in terms of stakes, I feel like his mom, who again, single mom, doesn't want her boy to fall into drugs, is comfortable with his boy being a nerd, and then he turns out to, have the journey that he has. I think her being there and that pressure would add way more tension to the movie than the movie had, in my opinion.
I hear what you're saying, but as far as I hear what you're saying, but I honestly still disagree because I think the movie would suddenly make a lot less sense. Why aren't you watching your kid when all this crazy stuff is happening?
Well, it's just not watching him anyway. There's a lot of things in this movie where I'm just like, but we'll get to it. But anyway.
Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, so yeah. Interesting about this boys. Yeah, sorry. What's interesting about this opening is that we open on the same amount of casual Black Death as the Boys in the Hood movie. Oh wait, sorry, I think I've skipped something. Um,
We were just talking about his
yeah, okay.
mom calling
No,
him a
isn't it?
Yeah,
nerd.
we discover the main character, the friends. So basically, I'm just showing everything that happens. So we just in the narration, we discover the main character, the friends, a prolonged shot of the love interest, which very much is kind of like the love interest way we look at the love interest in the Boys in the Hood movie, which also kind of because we watched that the week before, for those who don't know, and also kind of has a parallel, a little well, a match with the Boys in the Hood movie with the amount of casual Black Death that seems to happen in the first act, kind of sets us up for the danger of the movie. Yeah. Anyway, this is a
Wait, who
big
dies in the first act again?
the comic book nerd guy. Remember the
Wait,
one that
what?
the one that got shot in
Why am I blanking?
McDonald's or whatever? What?
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm wondering why I'm blanking. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, got shot in the McDonald's. They were like, oh, but then he has a lot of comics, and
Like he was at the wrong place
they
at
tried
the
to
wrong
like
time.
exactly because
Mm,
it's Inglewood or whatever. Yeah. So yeah,
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, same thing, same amount of casual Black Death. The change up though would be in the tone is that this is very 2000s. Where now you can actually see the shift because now you see no dramatic shots. We are clearly in the age of digital cameras as well. So you'll notice a lot of even
Mm,
lighting as well. And also with the dialogue, you start to see that this is like the beginning of that peak quirk. I mean, I don't Avengers hasn't come out yet, but at the same time, that
It
Josh
had come
Whedon
out.
level that
no, it's
It's
dropped.
oh,
come
It's
out.
it had
dropped.
come out.
Because
Avengers has dropped. Yeah.
Okay.
this is 2015. It was out already.
Okay. All right, cool, cool.
But the
So, but
MCU
yeah,
was not the juggernaut that it eventually became
it is
around this
now, but
time.
that
Yeah.
quirk,
No, I
yeah,
think it was because remember, by the time Avengers, like this is when the juggernaut of the MCU was starting.
mm,
Yeah,
Like this is when the engine was really
what I'm
taking
saying
off.
is it was not, let me put it like this. It was just slightly after Winter Soldier, because Winter Soldier was 2013, if you guys remember.
Mm,
but
So
okay, yeah, yeah.
it was still climbing up, but it was not
mm.
Infinity War level.
Yes, but
No,
So
no. It wasn't a bit. It wasn't a billion dollar. It wasn't $1 billion films left and right. Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes,
but already people already start to adopt the Josh Whedon level of quirk and quirky dialogue and like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Anyway, Though I will say this movie doesn't go as deep as movies that try to copy that Josh Whedon style. It's not, there's a lot of depth compared to those ones, but we'll get into that. Anyway, we're still less than 8 minutes in. The whole time we've been using small scenes, a wide set of locations. I would not be surprised if there was no second unit here. There's a crazy amount of work with no insane setups, no like that beautiful dolly shot that we got in Boys of the Hood, nothing like that. Um, yeah. Uh, the best kind of use of colors we get is the shoe chase. That's probably the biggest set piece that we see in the first 10 minutes with that shoe chase. You know, single mom, but
Why did you take it off if you were gonna run? Like, why
I
did you
know.
take it off? I would have just ran. Like, it would have just been like, I'm about to pretend to take off my shoe and run with both my shoes. Because I was just like, they took one of your shoes, my G.
The shit is crazy. But yeah, what point is by the end of this whole first piece, we kind of discover that yes, Malcolm is a quirky black man who gets annihilated for acting white, but despite acting white, he still lives in the same hellish environment as all the people who fit the black Inglewood mold would. No Inglewood, no Crenshaw, and Compton, or all the. Oh, by the way, I didn't know this, by the way. Inglewood,
Who fit the Inglewood.
and Crenshaw are all in the same overall area. They're like literally across the street from each other. It's like flipping. Well, I don't want to start naming.
Sunnyside.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And CBD.
Or
yeah.
Alex and Santon, which is
yes.
Yeah.
Very strange. Cool. So it puts him in the same kind of hell as the Boys in the Hood, but just a very different look to it. And I like that. I think that's interesting. That's kind of what makes like that like period of like black film so interesting in my opinion. But anyway,
I think, but
first
the thing is, his character gives you the impression that this is the 90s. Like how you started saying boom bap, like from like how it sounds. And when you start,
I thought it was a period piece.
Yeah,
I thought it was a period piece.
When you see his mom, because the thing is with women, sometimes the era is not really, you cannot really tell, especially if they're like dressed as civil servants. You know what I'm saying? If they're not dressed in anything that is overtly around that time, that fashion, it's hard to tell which era they're in. And then when he goes out of the street, you're like, wait, is this still the 90s? Because
yeah, no, the tip off was when I saw Zoe Kravitz's car, and I was like, what?
Exactly.
Because I thought we're in the 90s. I thought this is because they're also digging in crates, they're looking for vinyl and all of those things. So I'm thinking, okay, 90s. And then I see Zoe Kravitz's car, and I'm like, that's a 2005, that's a 2005, 2006 vehicle. Like, that does not fit in the 90s. Like, unless she's a time traveler, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah, what are we looking at? Yeah, 100%. But yeah, anyway, that's our premise. And so now things kick off. Now we find out what our main character needs and what our main character wants. Kind of like a Disney song, but we'll get into that. So anyway, number one, he wants to go to Harvard. But it's not looking good for him. There's an upcoming meeting with someone who made it to Harvard, and he needs to be there for this to happen. So that's important. It's a fun conversation, doesn't last long. Opens more up the character. It's like a 1 minute, like I said, it's a 1 minute version of a Disney I Want song. And before you know it, we're out.
Is this when he meets with the I'm assuming the principal or the counselor? Which I'm so sick of movies. We need to address this. Why the hell are all of these teachers so freaking mean?
You've been studios or directors or
okay, studios, directors. Guys, when you have teachers in class, right? You have to understand that's a bad teacher. That's a bad counselor. Like, a lot of the time, they don't behave this way, where they just outright crush the child's dreams, especially when that child is an A-star student. You don't go, you're so arrogant. Who do you think you are? Just because you've got straight A's, nobody's going to care. I'm like, way to give somebody a complex. What are you doing?
That dude hates his job. Like that guy hates being there, my G.
Everybody hates Chris Rock's role also, and that one was like where he was like, how many people are here? Where he like tries to shut down his dreams, where he's like, no man, you don't need to go to college, you can have a normal life. So like gets into a bus and he's like, has anyone here been in college? And they all put up their first, no one puts up their hands, so they go to a different bus. Then it's like, has anyone here been to college? And then they all put up their hands, like, see, college doesn't get you anything. So it's a common thing. It's a common thing.
What I'm trying to say is honest, that, like, I sort of as a person,
I sort of understood what that.
Okay, I'll say this after you.
I just wanted to say that I could sort of get what he was trying to say. Maybe it was too early for us to see what he was saying, but I could get the background of the main character. You know, he kind of reminds me of Captain Kirk in the J.J. Abrams movies. If you watch the first Star Trek, like he knew he was good, so he was not taking anything seriously anymore. And that pissed off this guy, because it's like, we get that you're smart, but you're arrogant about it. Like you feel like you have everything figured out, but you still have a lot to learn, because what you're doing right now is not a soft skill. It's not a soft skill at all. That's the shit that would get you fired. You know what I'm saying? Or not hired.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm trying to say though. As a person who has worked in education, not very long, like I had a brief stint in all of that stuff, right? And I've seen the difference between good teachers and bad teachers. And the teachers that do that, the parents get involved and report these people all the time, because it's just like, all you're doing is destroying my kid's like future. Like it doesn't matter that they're getting A's now, because he's just gonna have a complex for the rest of his life because you told him he ain't shit. And it's just like, how did you get this job? So I'm looking at this guy like, you don't correct the kid by saying you ain't shit, you're arrogant, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, whoa, are you helping me, or is this a Nas ether track and I'm Jay-Z? Fuck your dreams, bro. What?
Right.
He's hired by the CIA. He's hired by the CIA. That's why.
Anyway, all I'm saying is that like that was just extra. I was just like, you can just say to him, look, even though you're smart, it doesn't mean you know everything. It doesn't mean you can do everything, and it doesn't mean that the people you're going to try and impress will be impressed by the way you do things. So if you're trying to go into a specific school, you have to use a specific skill set and a specific grading thing that they'll grade you by.
Yeah,
that's what
you're not allowed to be silly. Yeah, that's
then
what
you can be different later. Then you can be different and be a different person later. I don't know why that was so hard. You just had to straight up, like it turned into a roast session. Boy, what? Anyway, I'm done.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so anyway, the few scenes that's doing heavy lifting. All the previous scenes were set up on tone and atmosphere, and this sprinkles in a lot of character and a lot of identity to it. Then we get a seemingly random scene that still seems to be working hard to set up the environment. This is, of course, as they try to go home, they are shut down by Bloods, blocking their way, so they have to go around, which, of course, leads to the new problem as they end up with A$AP Rocky. I just wrote him as A$AP Rocky the whole time. Confronting him about his.
I'm forgetting the name of the character. And like the other thing is, I was like, guys, I'm sorry, but A$AP Rocky, like, I get this is before we knew him as A$AP Rocky, or before he blew up, or not blew up, but like he was bubbling and getting known and all of that stuff. But I'm just saying, it's not intimidating to me. It's just it's not working.
Actually, to
like,
be honest,
and it's not because of his size or his stature. Because if we,
sorry, please continue. I'll say what I want to say afterwards.
Okay, I'm saying it's not because of his stature. Because I know somebody's going to be like, "Oh, you think it's just because A$AP Rocky is skinny or whatever?" I'm like, no. You know who was also scary and skinny? In Baby Boy. Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was intimidating and Baby Boy kicking over people's forts and shit. So he didn't work for me as a villain. But we'll get to part of the other problem why he doesn't work, and outside of just him and his performance. But I'm just saying, right now they're saying he's an intimidating dude in the hood, and I'm like, I'm not intimidated.
So for me, because
Like
the
I had
first
a
time,
boss. Yeah.
I think the first time I watched this movie was probably like 10 years ago or something. I don't remember. Or even more than that. And okay, it can't be more than that because this is 2015. But I would say I didn't know A$AP Rocky. I have to be honest with you guys. I heard about A$AP Rocky and I probably heard his songs on the radio or whatever, but I didn't know how it looked like. So when I saw this, I was intimidated, dog. Because one thing I've realized about unknown actors, which is why I think City of God was so great, bro, is you really buy these characters that they're playing because you don't know them. You don't know their personalities out of this role. You're being introduced to them for the first time. I also think that's why Izo was so impactful. You were dealing with a lot of unknowns, so you didn't know what to expect to this person. That's why a film like The Blair Witch Project was also so great. So when I saw it, I was like, I'm scared for this kid because I didn't even know Shamik Moore at the time as well. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I was sold
Yeah.
to every
Yeah.
moment when I was watching it. I didn't know anybody except for like Zoe Kravitz or the other established people. But yeah, for me, I was like, flip, this kid is gonna get into trouble. Like if he doesn't do what this nigga says. But now that I'm older, when I was highest to lowest, I felt exactly the way Buck felt now watching this movie. Because I was like, I can't feel you intimidating Denzel Washington. I don't buy it. I don't buy that you're intimidating Denzel Washington. You know what I mean? I don't buy it. The only thing that I was being sold for is that you have someone that you've kidnapped and you want some money from it. That's it. But you talking smack to Denzel, I was like, nah, fam. I don't buy that. But anyway, that's just me.
So is Denzel in this movie and I missed it?
No, no.
Am I missing something?
No, he's talking
I,
about highest to lowest.
I was saying highest to lowest.
Are we ranking things or the name of something?
My God, Rob, you
That the
don't
name of
know
something?
that Denzel has a movie
No, no,
called
no, no,
Highest to
no. Long
Lowest?
story. Long story short, he's just making a correlation.
All right, cool. Because for me, I really enjoyed him.
Wait,
I
you
had a
don't know a
blast with
Spike
this.
Lee
I'm actually.
movie called Highest to Lowest?
Is that weird one where Denzel Washington is like rapping or something?
Yeah, that's the one.
I've never
He's
seen
a
the movie
music
itself.
producer. Okay,
Ah,
He
okay.
does rap in the movie, by the
Okay.
way.
And
But yeah,
yes, I've seen the clips. I've never seen the movie itself. Anyway,
okay.
you
personally, I
there?
just had a blast.
Oh.
There's a okay, yeah, this first scene not that intimidating, but I thought but we'll get to the second scene is a part where I really enjoy his performance, but not that he's a main issue in this whole thing. I think I agree he's not intimidating enough to go after adults in this movie, but to go after that man, that kid, I think that's fine for me. But we'll get into it.
Yeah,
We'll
no,
get more
same.
into it
I
later.
agree. For this role
So
particularly, I'm sold 100%.
I think he did
Highest,
a good job in this
highest to
specific
lowest,
movie,
no,
but
I'm not sold.
again, I thought you were like doing an auction. That was hilarious. But anyway, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, anyway. Okay. Then we get A$AP Rocky confronting him about his 90s obsession and his knowledge of 19 hip. And it turns out that A$AP's knowledge of 90s hip hop is actually just as high, if not even higher. It's so good. Like this
but
man is so.
that's
Mhm.
sorry,
Yeah.
it's just another thing I wanted to point out. I was like, this is another thing that kind of takes me out the movie because he dresses so 90s that I'm like,
Mhm.
no one is gonna make fun of you for this at all. Like Shamik Moore is looking like the Fresh Prince, and I'm like, there's no way in Big
A high
2015
top, my nigga.
that you can have a box on
A
your
flat
head.
top, sorry, flat
Like
top.
you can have a box on your head. And I mean, like having the flat top and then having the bright colored shirt and then having the shirt tucked in your pants and also he had one shoe. No one said nothing.
A
No
box on your
one.
head. That's hilarious, fam. That's hilarious.
I mean, that's what this conversation's about.
And I'm
They
like,
are
what?
roasting him in the moment, though. Right now, they're roasting him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right now.
No, not really. Not really. They're just like, why are you dressed in the 90s? I'm like, I'm talking about how people would circle him and like everybody would be like, yo, check this motherfucker out. You think you're still the Fresh Prince? Like, that's what I was expecting. I was expecting dudes to come out of the
Nah,
woodwork.
This man,
Like, I was expecting that scene where there's a guy
I
who's
think
walking, minding his business.
his peers would do that, but I don't think like someone like ASAP who's selling
Except they
dope
really don't.
would.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think he would do that. Okay, there are people like him,
I don't know.
his age.
I've seen a lot of
There are people
anyway.
like him, his age, who would actually do that shit. But I don't think it's in that guy's character because that guy is secretly a geek himself. So I don't think he would be clowning Shamik like that. But that's me. I could be wrong.
I thought somebody would, especially the fact that he was missing a shoe on top of that. I feel like someone would say something. But anyway.
I mean, they do try to steal their bikes and all these things. Okay. So I mean, a lot of things happen in that moment anyway. Cool. So yeah. We jump. Yeah, A$AP Rocky wants something after the whole. Yeah, anyway, it puts a damper on Malcolm's flow. But it gets distracted because it turns out that A$AP Rocky called him because he wants something. He wants Malcolm to talk to a girl for him. And we jump to the apartment where the girl is supposed to be. What's going on today? Yeah. And as it turns out, it's the girl he was gawking at the whole time. And they kind of do this whole fun, hilarious kind of game of telephone where they go back and forth. And the whole thing kind of ends in an invitation to a birthday party that includes him. This seems to be the early.
I need to step in here quickly. Ladies, women, in the comment section down below, especially if you were alive in 2015, which is probably all of us. You're probably our age. All right, I need to know if a dude came to you dressed like the Fresh Prince in 2015. Are you inviting that broad to a birthday party? I just need to know. Because this movie is saying that Shamik Moore is the sexiest nigga on the block. And I'm like, really?
Hey, you're clowning this nigga.
Yo, dressed like this.
You hate his guts, my G. Like, what's your problem?
Holy cow.
What's your problem, dog?
Like, dressed like this.
Damn. Like,
this is
yo.
I have a feeling this man would have taken his shoes too. Buck would have taken his shoes.
Dressed like this.
Oh man.
I've never seen it. But okay.
Holy cow.
Oh.
I did not see this coming.
Maybe I'm hating. Just let me know in the comment section. I'm genuinely asking because
if I remember correctly, around this time, in real time, AKA had that hairstyle. AKA had a flat top around this time. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, but the flat top is one thing, but did he dress like the Fresh Prince?
He didn't dress like the Fresh Prince, but he had Fresh Prince like type of swag here and there. If you guys remember.
But what I'm trying to say is that Malcolm looks like he stepped out of the 90s, like straight up. And I'm just like, that works for you.
And it does get noticed. It does get noticed. Like, people are seeing it. And
no, I'm not saying that people aren't seeing it, but what I'm saying is Zoe Kravitz, who's probably the hottest chick on the block or whatever, or hottest woman, sorry. And I don't mean to offend nobody. The hottest woman on the block or whatever. Like, she can get any bra that she wants or whatever. That's why A$AP Rocky is trying to send intermediaries to get at her or whatever. I'm just like, this is or maybe it's the thing that because it's so totally opposite, that's why it attracts her. Maybe that's what's happening. I was just genuinely confused because as a bro who used to dress up in the hip-hop things, whenever I tried to talk to women and I was looking like I was from the 90s, it did not work. So I was just like, I had to change my whole dress and flow. So I was just like, this in 2015, sharp. Okay.
Maybe it was the afro, man. We gotta organize the afro. That's what was missing.
I have to have a box. Okay.
Yeah, we gotta work on that afro. Okay. But yeah, where was it? Oh yeah, cool. So anyway, I was gonna say this seems to be the early days of subversion. Before it became huge in the late 2010s. This plays with fun and danger, as you can see that ASAP is a dealer, and you can see that Malcolm is terrified, but at the same time, it's still a very funny scene altogether. So there's a lot of things happening at the same time. Anyway, 40 minutes in, Malcolm is finally home and he's talking to the team like a Star Trek meeting, which I thought is fantastic. And he gets talked into going.
Was it Captain Kirk?
We're talking Picard days. So basically, I think I go into it, but just
Yes.
the idea is, so basically, no, actually Kirk as well, because Picard would talk to two other people. So it either talk to, if with Picard, it's Riker, and then maybe it's Worf, and then in the other one it would be the Doctor, and it would be the engineer. It would be
It would
McCoy
be
and
Bones or
Bones and
Spock.
say it again? Yeah, and
Spock.
Spock. So they'd be like a three-way triangle. And you can
Yeah.
kind of see the three-way triangle here. And I'll get into more on that later. That's for the deep nerds. We're filling it in. Anyway, they go to the whole thing. They go to the party, which is like an event. And they immediately get rejected from the party, which has bouncers. And
Okay, but I gotta ask something again. Malcolm, no self-preservation? No self-preservation, Malcolm. You met this woman because of a drug dealer, and you're going to the party of the drug dealer to dance with the woman that the drug dealer is interested in.
maybe he thinks
that math is mathing. I was if it was me, I'm not going nowhere because I'm like, this is how you get shots.
Maybe ASAP Rocky believes in fair play. Well, actually, no, we'll see what happens later on. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway.
He was more interested. He was more interested in being with Zoe Kravitz. So, by any means,
Muna, to risk bullets. Okay. But anyway.
So yeah, they get rejected.
And I'm not saying this just because I'm older. I get it. I'm 31. I know somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, you just talking because of hindsight." I'm like, dog. I've had a gun in my face before. That was one of the most traumatizing experiences of my life. I was 12. Long story short, I was at a restaurant. The restaurant got robbed. These dudes came in with AKs. Guy pointed an AK in my face in the bathroom and then left. So traumatizing.
So you were taking a shit and someone just came in there and pointed you with AK.
Man, add spice.
No, not really. What happened is that
yeah.
Well, not actually. What happened is that we saw the gunman, and then my mom pushed us into the bathroom, and then she went into the female bathroom, and then they followed, and then they held everybody at gunpoint.
Okay.
Yeah. Long story short, I avoided places that had guns for a very long time. It didn't matter what fine woman was there waiting for me. So I'm just saying. Yeah. But okay, shut up, Malcolm. Chase the girlfriend of the thug that was dealing drugs. You go.
Hey, my nigga, Scott Pilgrim had to fight 7 evil exes. Just to smash
Scott Pilgrim had powers.
They could have killed his ass.
Scott Pilgrim had powers. He had a magic sword. This dude he had to run from somebody that took his shoe. Malcolm lost a shoe to a dude.
Anyway, that was like boyfriend number 5. But anyway, yeah, okay.
What?
No, I'm saying by the time he had a sword, that was like boyfriend number 5. Exactly. But anyway,
exactly.
Cool. So anyway, yeah, Dream Girl and AKA Zoe Kravitz shows up and asks if he's getting in. The bouncers try and catch them trying to sneak in, but then ASAP finds them and lets them in. And there's this funny bit with darkness to it, as ASAP has this hilarious little romp over back chatting, and then they beat the hell out of the guards. This paints a clear idea.
before you get there,
Hmm.
shout out to the actor that was actually rejecting those kids to go in because he's actually a
Yeah,
comedian as well. He was in Blackish,
yeah,
if you guys remember. And he was
yeah.
also in that sitcom with
I think
Tracy Morgan.
his acting for me lifted the scene. His
Yeah, he's
acting for
proper.
me lifted the
He's
scene.
dope.
I felt like he was scared, like
Mm.
legitimately scared. And ASAP to me was, I don't know if it, because again, I'm not a big ASAP fan. I don't follow everything ASAP does. I don't go
I think
listen
there's
to
a
ASAP
Rihanna
interviews or
connection here, but
whatever.
okay. Please continue.
No, I don't even care about that stuff. I haven't followed the Rihanna thing in forever. I don't care. But what I'm saying is that in this scene, because also him and Vince Staples, and Vince Staples can't play dumb. I'm sorry, it
He's too
doesn't
smart to play
work.
dumb, huh?
Like just him and his demeanor as a he's too smart. There's no way you can tell me he doesn't know the phrase slippery slope, even when he's speaking in this scene. I'm like, dog, you sound like a dude who says pontificate on a Tuesday. There's no way you can tell me you don't know what slippery slope is.
Maybe it's because
Holy cow.
you're watching this movie knowing who these people are now. But also wanted to mention the scene where the lesbo showed her boobs.
Maybe,
I'm like,
maybe.
you don't just casually show your boobs like that, dog. I don't care how liberated you are, my G. Just to prove you're a girl? Nah, fam.
If you want to get into the club,
Wait, did she go
yes,
topless? Did I miss that?
yes,
Yeah, she went
but
like
obviously
this.
not.
Did she
Cause
catch?
cause the dude was not convinced that it's a girl. Because it was like, you
Didn't actually
niggas
do it.
need to bounce.
Oh, but I'm saying it wasn't actually top. Was there
No,
bra
you
action? I
no.
think
No,
I
it
missed.
was cut off. It's like me doing this. You,
Oh,
you don't see anything, but it's
oh,
implied.
okay.
Christ, put it down. No, I'm
Oh,
joking.
okay.
What did you say?
Uh, uh,
Ah.
no.
Oh, you saw my three tits. You saw my three nipples. Damn it.
I'm
Oh
joking.
God.
I'm joking, bro.
Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Okay, yeah.
God.
I didn't hear anything. I'll probably hear it when I edit.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I enjoyed the scene. Buck did it, but anyway, this paints a clear idea that although there are laughs for a couple of socially awkward nerds, they are in actual fact in a volatile and dangerous situation that nerds do not have the power to control. This, in a way, I love this because this is a nerds horror movie. But
Yeah.
this movie, funny enough, is clearly shot before the day of social disorders or panic attacks, which in itself is kind of funny. But anyway, they are brought in and their bags taken in, and they get to sit with the big boys, mainly ASAP. As it turns out, they all fit in rather well once the shots get started. And now we're in a montage of them
Actually,
in a party.
if we're being completely
Hmm.
honest, his friends are a lot cooler than him. Like, if we're being honest, like his friends can actually blend with anybody. They're very social.
Yeah,
Like, they're not awkward at all. He's
true.
the awkward one.
Oh yeah, he's. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're all tiny and they will all be in danger rather quick from most people.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do seem to fit in nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have better social skills, especially
Yeah.
the lesbian
The
woman. Why am I
lesbian,
forgetting her
because
name?
Flash
Yeah.
was trying to smash the comic book guy's mom. Like, what the
Well, no, I was trying to get the comics, but yes.
with flowers? Get the fuck out of here, Rob. He was trying to smash.
That's exactly. They literally say he's trying to get the comics from her. But
Oh,
yeah, anyway, yeah.
I thought you wanted to smash. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part correctly then.
No,
That's
but
fine.
also the other thing is
Yes, that's the powerful
you
ways.
can see that the other guy he's a tryhard because the other thing is he's drinking. Oh, sorry. Side note. Have we has N bomb started dropping yet
Not
when
yet.
we're at this part in the movie?
Not yet.
What do you mean?
Oh,
What are you
okay.
talking about? N-bombs.
We'll get into it.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
N bombs because
Yeah, of
they
course.
drop a lot of them in this movie.
Yes, the Indian guy was
Yeah,
swearing.
but
And I'm like, does it count?
no, but what I'm trying to yeah, yeah
No.
what I'm trying to say is that how did they get away with this? But
Dude, like,
we'll
what the
see
fuck?
as we go on.
Yeah, because I was also asking myself that question because I was like, wait, are you supposed to say this? You.
Yeah, Mr. Indian. And then they add the white guy later on, and you're like, wait, why is he given? And then they even address it, which is funny. I do think this script went through a lot of edits, and I like that.
Except they don't resolve it.
Yeah,
They
at
don't
all.
resolve it. And then
Not
the
at all.
other thing is also like, yeah, but we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, so we're at the party. The Indian friend is trying to drink with big boys and he's passing out. I think the only one who was kind of having her shit together was the lesbian, and then I think Malcolm spots he
Kravitz.
spots Zoe Kravitz's character in the crowd. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I
No, you're
remembering this
right.
wrong?
Anyway,
Did
yeah,
I
we get
skip anything?
montage of them. We see Diggy, that's her name, getting some girl to girl action. She found
Oh,
the lesbian. Yeah, Zoe Kravitz, Zoe's the type of actress who feels like she's good at playing herself, and she often
Yeah,
just plays herself.
she's not so versatile, to be honest. Look, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Sometimes you do see her try. Okay. You do see her try.
Mhm.
Like with Catwoman, for example. I could see
This is the
Sel-
same.
I could see Selena here and there. I could see Selena. But for the most part,
Yeah.
she's just eye candy. You know what I'm saying? They get her
Yeah.
because they know she's gorgeous. I'm not sure saying she's a bad actress. I think you and I
I'm
had
not
this
at all.
discussion because I was watching one of the podcasts we did in the past where you said
no, I mean,
Zoe
this
Kravitz
thing is
falls under the same category as a Brad Pitt, where
Well, he
um
can, except I'm actually saying more of a Will Smith, but yes, a Brad Pitt can play Brad Pitt really well. And
exactly.
those are some of the best roles that he has in his career. And then,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. But I would say there's this thing in Hollywood where I think people need to understand that a lot of actors in Hollywood, they do themselves, or they'll be themselves in a movie, or they'll be like a heightened version of themselves. There's not a lot of actors that are chameleons like Jeffrey Wright. There's not a lot of actors like Jeffrey Wright will be,
Or
you
Matt
will see him in
Damon.
one movie and you won't recognize him, and you see him in another movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
or yeah, even Matt Damon. But Matt Damon also is good at playing himself. But what I'm trying to say is that I think the reason why they kind of do that for these projects is because they do that thing to build a brand around a person. If you get what I'm saying, like when Will Smith is in a movie, you expect Will Smithisms of the movie, and
Yeah,
that's what
look,
people want to come for. Versus a
I'll
Jeffrey Wright, like he's not a pull, but he's an amazing actor.
those
I'll
are called
always say
character
this.
actors. I'm not sure if you've got a
Uh,
name.
I'll always say this.
Yes,
This is
yeah.
something that Jerry Ferrara said. Shout out to Turtle, if you know Entourage, or Proctor in Power. He said there's a big difference between a movie star and an actor, right? So when you see someone like we've mentioned now, Brad Pitt, those are movie stars, right? Those are movies. George Clooney is a movie star. But then, like you guys said, your Jeffrey Wrights, um, your Stanley Tucci's of this world. Those ones, those are flipping actors. Those are actors. Those are the guys that Brad Pitt look at when they're watching movies and take notes
I hear
from.
what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but to be fair to George Clooney, Ides of Man and John Clasey, I think the name is, and the Man Who Stares at Goats are and the Three Kings are completely different characters. Those aren't George Clooney
I'm
playing
not
George
saying that
Clooney.
I'm not saying that they're not I mean even with
Versatile?
even with Brad Pitt, we both said that with 12 Monkeys it was slightly different.
Yes.
What I'm saying is we do get movie stars don't have much range as opposed to the actors that we're talking about, if that makes sense. I mean, you do get some exceptions like Jack Nicholson, you know,
Mhm.
but for the most part, the thespians are the ones that, man, we hardly talk about. But when we talk about George Clooney, you
I
don't
think
think about the
I think
movies that you
DiCaprio. I
mentioned.
think DiCaprio would count. DiCaprio
Yeah,
would count
DiCaprio.
as somebody who's a movie star who has range.
Yes.
So I guess there's
Yeah,
exceptions like
he's a
that.
hybrid.
The Departed isn't the Aviator, isn't Titanic. Yes, agreed.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
But at the same time, but anyway, yeah. Well, let's move on. But anyway, yeah.
yeah, let's move on. Whoa, whoa.
before
Well,
we get distracted
it's a
too
good thing
much.
Buckmaster is
Anyway,
here. Otherwise, Rob and I were gonna have that discussion for 20 minutes. I promise. I promise you.
What? I thought you guys were better than me. I thought we all didn't have ADHD. I thought I was alone
Oh
on
no,
this
no, no,
island.
no, no. When it's just the two, when it's just the two of us, we can talk about one topic. We used to have that every single time. The first 30 minutes, just know that we're just getting into it's just serious film talk before we get into the movie. Anyway.
we'll just be able to dive in a specific element. But anyway, yeah. Cool. So anyway, yeah, Zoe Kravitz is there. And Zoe is the one that gets him to dance because of course. But with
Like,
her,
I'm like, she is feeling this, bro. What did he do?
He
What
actually
did he
thinks he
say?
has
He helped
he
her
stands
solve
a
what
chance, though.
equation?
He thinks he stands a chance. Like he thinks he
No,
actually has a shot here.
he thinks no, but no. What I'm Cam, that's not what's happening. What's happening here is I don't know what the situation is with her and ASAP, ne? Because of course her and ASAP have something going on. But she's not using this bra to make ASAP jealous. She is feeling this bra for real. Like he
Yes.
solved one equation and changed her whole life, apparently. I was like, that's it? Wow.
I think it's because, and I could be wrong.
Okay.
I think it's because he's probably the first person to genuinely give a shit about her than her looks. You know what I'm saying?
at this point, Buck is like, why wasn't it me?
Yeah. So even though he
Not
wanted
why
to
wasn't it
smash,
me? I'm just saying.
even though he wanted to smash just like everybody else, he genuinely was interested in her schoolwork. Like for real. He was not even joking or trying to get points. He really
It's
wanted to
easy
help
to,
her
yeah.
out. Yeah.
All right.
Because it's something he's good at. Whereas everything else, words out of his mouth are things he's bad at. Yeah.
But to Buck's
it
point,
makes-
they
All right.
write this character as if he's the hottest thing since sliced bread. We'll get into the later scene
Up
because
to one girl, but yeah, we'll
not
get
one
there. Yeah.
girl, there's another girl. We'll get there.
Two.
Yeah,
Two.
two,
And
dog.
they are bad.
So, the second one doesn't count at all. The
She
second one is
counts. She counts, dog.
she doesn't count at all.
Nah, she counts, Rob. But I'll get there.
Let's go. Let's get to the scene. Let's get to the scene. Let's get to the scene.
We'll get there.
Because I feel like you guys have completely misunderstood what's happening here. But anyway, cool. Gosh, I need to actually have like a thing where I put a marker on where it last left off. Because sometimes you guys will put me on
They're dancing. They're dancing.
I mean on my
Zoe
page.
and-
But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
dance with her leading the way, and it's kind of hot right up until ASAP comes up and takes over. Though I do have to admit, ASAP is actually doing an incredible. Okay, I guess this is just me thinking this. Doing an incredible job playing a drug dealer. He's believable while still holding a bit of an edge, so it doesn't seem too silly. Malcolm stands up for himself, but the sense of danger is too great, and he retreats. And they give each other one last, and Zoe and Malcolm give each other one last look, before he runs away.
I thought he was dead though. I thought that ASAP was gonna shoot him in the face or some shit.
Oh yeah,
or like
gonna get a drop
or some
yeah.
or some nigga was gonna jump from the crowd and just start jumping Malcolm right then and there. I was just like, this is so dangerous. Why would you he's a drug dealer? You dance with his girl in the middle of the crowd.
On his birthday too. You're doing all this.
I'll be like, you're trying to get me killed.
He had a lot of kahunas, dog. He had kahunas. I don't know what he was thinking, honestly.
Man, like he didn't even take her to the corner. Like you couldn't even dance at the other side, away from the crowd, Indiana, right in the middle of the crowd. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that kind of ends that moment. And well, I mean, it's not over yet. It's not over yet, but it does set up it does give us a lot of strength in the Malcolm's wants. We're doing a nice big cut into what Malcolm wants, his college. We see his skills. We see what he wants in terms of love as well. So they're very crystal clear right now. 22 minutes in, we cut to an airstrike. An airstrike. And we see that it's actually a phone and someone's showing a real life airstrike. I first thought it was Call of Duty. But anyway, ASAP is not in a good mood after striking out with Zoe. The dialogue is still crisp and fun. And Jesus. Okay. There we go.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, he struck out, she left with you. What did you do? Because I feel like if she was gonna not be with him, she would have just walked away with Malcolm. Well, which would also have put Malcolm in danger. Maybe
Yeah,
she was
those
just
are
like,
big
I'm gonna
Malcolm
get this
kills,
nigga killed. Never mind. All right, I'll reject him in the corner somewhere where he can't shoot Malcolm in the face. Okay,
Yes.
fine. I answered my
I
own
think
question.
that's exactly, yeah. Clearing out the good mood of striking out. The dialogue is crisp fun, and then it cuts to something more serious as they do an actual drug deal. Only
Yeah,
for things to take a
with Tiger,
yeah.
right? Shout out to
Yeah,
Tiger.
I mean
Yes.
they have a quote unquote philosophical debate, which I was like, is this going to play in later to the movie? Like, this felt like a little bit of like a Boys in the Hood type thing where Q was talking to Cuba Gooding Jr. I forget what was
Trey,
it? TJ Styles,
Trey.
T something
Yes.
Styles in Boys of the Hood. Oh,
Trey.
Trey. Yeah, where yeah, Doughboy was talking to Trey, and Trey was and Doughboy was saying there's all these things going on in the world, but they don't care about what's going on in the hood, etc., etc. So they were having a little philosophical debate where they were like, "You looking at this drone strikes now, and you're like enjoying this shit now, but this shit could also turn into us, and they're not just killing people who are soldiers or whatever." So it's supposed to show that even though people are gangsters, they still have a code or whatever. Which
Uh,
again, kind of really interesting in concept. I just wish it played throughout the movie more.
I actually think it's slightly different to that, but I do like what you're saying. Definitely, I hear it. But I actually think what they're trying to do is they're trying to let you know it's a little setup to let you know that um Doughboy, not Doughboy, let's say ASAP is actually highly intelligent, because that's gonna play in later when we see a little picture in a frame and realize, okay, this is why this. Again, I don't want to do any spoilers, but you're gonna see later on when at the certain
Yeah,
room.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying I wish that was kind of more prevalent throughout the
Mm,
movie. But we'll see what when we
yeah.
get to it, we'll get to it. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually think there was a lot of fat trimming in this movie. I think there was probably like 20 edits. I would not be surprised. But anyway,
True.
well, rewrites. Yeah, serious when they do the drug deal, only for things take a turn when the shotguns bust in and they shoot a guy who was selling drugs in the first place.
And ASAP has all the plot armor in the world. ASAP's character is just, they did not hit him at all. I was like, everyone around him died, and he just got up, pointed the gun, shot twice, and managed to get out of there. I was like, wasn't that a shotgun shell? Like, those things are supposed to have spread. I like 6 dudes died around him.
That was also the most unexpected thing ever because Tiger was still talking though, and I was like invested in what he was saying. Mid-sentence, it's like, that's
That's
it.
what you get for being calm out here living your best life, and then bam, yeah,
Mm.
I like that. So yeah, bust in, yelling, yeah, then almost immediately afterwards, like so quick, it's unbelievable. The SWAT team bust in, yelling LAPD. The party is just full of dead bodies and chaos as ASAP tries to run with the drugs, only for him to lose them and get arrested. Malcolm has been given his bag by ASAP, which is rather considerate of him. Very nice. And then he runs off with Zoe who he picks up. Sorry, Malcolm picks up Zoe.
Oh, that's how he got the drugs. Because I thought ASAP and them had the similar bag or whatever. He
Nah,
picked Thingy's bag and put the stuff in his bag, ne?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and runs off with Zoe. Who he picked up off the ground because of the stampede. Um, then they just kind of get let go by the cops. The cops are like, it's like a cutscene. Oh, you got past the line. Well done. We're done here. You guys can leave.
Yeah, I was just
No
like, really?
questions.
You're not arresting everybody else at the party?
No
Like, did they
questions.
know? Was it a sting operation? Like, did they know they were going for specifically ASAP? And
It was
again, probably tangential, doesn't matter.
I
They're
mean, those
not
are good.
looking
Those
for these
are those
people.
are
I
legit
understand, but
questions. Those are good questions.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm pretty sure maybe we've watched too many movies where they say lock down the room and we're gonna ask everyone questions. I guess not. We got him. Everyone can leave now.
Was he
So
on
yeah.
FBI's most wanted list? What's going on?
And also, why would they let the shooting
and
stop?
also it's like, why, like, yeah, and also just you're letting people go. They could be his people in the party. Like, they could be like outside connects that are going to be able to still distribute without him. But okay.
Mhm. So yeah, they just get let go by the cops, which again, ridiculous. I mean, they even look like kids. Are you guys in there? Nope. Anyway. So 24 minutes in, we're essentially at the end of the first act. Though I feel it might be argued that the start of the part that was the start of the first act was actually the part where they were talking might actually be the first act, because that act break is marked as a change in the situation or a choice being made. For those who don't know, there's like
Yeah,
this thing
true.
we also have discussed before, where sometimes what will mark the end of an act will be a decision a character makes. So the big decision was them talking. Do we go to the party? Yes or no? Yes. Change. Another time, other people will say a mark of a new act is a mark of a new situation.
A new idea.
So right now, him trying
Yeah.
exactly is the mark of a first act. So up to you to decide where it actually is. We'll leave that open for, especially when later, because you might find out that it's actually might even be later than that.
Like, I'll
So
give you an
remember, this is like a
example.
2 hour.
If the Reddit storyline was a movie, the first act would end when Goku gets punched in the gut and Raditz leaves with Gohan. That would be the ending of the first act.
Or the inciting incident, actually. But yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But definitely,
I
yes.
mean, usually the end of Act One is supposed to be. Usually, end of Act One is like either. I mean, inciting incident will happen, and then basically journey's kind of got to start or something like that. I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more like
This
they
is
hit the road.
this is inciting. Yeah, because I'm saying this technically would be the inciting incident, because this is where Malcolm's situation changes from a kid going to a party to now shit's about to
Yeah,
go down.
true.
I guess he
That's
doesn't
actually
know
true.
it yet, but
Yes. It could be that when they talked when ASAP pulls him aside to talk to the girl, that could be what starts things off. But again, we're gonna leave this open because we're gonna discuss it again in about 10 minutes. You'll see why. So yeah.
cool.
At the start of the part of that short scene where he decides to go party, it's a big move by the protagonist. All other choices are simply a product of his character. Oh yes, okay. So basically, the idea what I was saying is there other things like, for example, him saving Zoe is not a choice. That's a character. That's just a part of his character. He would do that. You know what I mean? If he started saving strangers, then you could be like, okay, that's kind of a big decision. But him actually trying to, but that doesn't count as a character decision. Whereas him going to the party is something out of the norm, so that would count as a character decision. But anyway, just stuff to think about for writers about agency. When it comes to character agency in writing, that makes a big difference. But yeah. So anyway, yeah. Before I go too much, anyway, we get Oh yeah, we get something that tends to be missing in a great deal of movies, where the point of romance is not the main element. So if it's not a romance movie, but there's romance, this kind of thing tends to go missing, and how even some romances will miss this. And that is kind of a scene where the main characters understand each other beyond attraction. And in this next scene where Zoe and Malcolm are together, they bounce off each other and even slightly shock and offend each other. She gets offended by his corny "you can do better" line, which is so stupid, and finds it silly. And he gets offended by the idea that he could be appreciated by ladies. It also has backstories, and this scene, ideally, I would have preferred it to be sprinkled everywhere, but I think this is still a good chunk of goodness that is laid out in a single scene. And you know what? He even asks her out.
I guess it
And it
wouldn't be
closes with him.
sprinkled everywhere since Nakia, which is Zoe's character's name, isn't supposed to
30
be
to 10 years.
prevalent throughout the movie. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. She's like Sauron in Lord of the Rings.
Again, I think that's but I think again that's kind of like an issue to me, in my opinion, because again we'll get into it in the rest of the movie, because the thing of the mom, I thought she was gonna kind of be the Pinocchio, not the what's the Jiminy Cricket to his Pinocchio.
Oh, Jiminy Cricket. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
Jiminy Cricket. The Jiminy Cricket. Because
Yes.
the thing is, the way they were kind of setting up their relationship and everything, right?
Yeah.
Basically, maybe if she found out what was going on with him, and especially via this ASAP situation, I feel like she'd be trying to get him out, or she'd be like trying to say, "Get out of this! Like you're too smart for this. Like you know, you're helping me with my math and shit. You're not supposed to be in the drug game." And then literally, he's having no choice because of things that are happening outside of him. So that creates tension in their relationship. I was expecting some of that stuff, and the movie didn't really do it.
Didn't give it to you. Not fair. That's a fair point.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah, which makes sense. I could totally see that working. Yeah, so yeah, enter the asked to the prom. Cool. So now,
but the scene is good. This
Yeah.
scene is good. The scene in the car is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's a new day. Again, this is one of those things where one could argue this could be a new act, because sometimes again, change of situation also counts as a reason to kick off a new act, but let me go into detail on that. Okay, so things are about to kick off. Number one, the dilemma. The beginning of the long day. He finds the dope inside of his bag, but the man is such a complete nerd that the scene before, when the drug dog barks and the alarm goes off, Mr. Policeman thinks it's more realistic that a machine that's been working forever is broken and the dog is broken, then it's him.
So
I
he
was
thinks,
like, what?
so he thinks
I said no.
he thinks the dog is tripping.
They do this twice.
He thinks the dog is tripping, and he thinks
And the
machine.
machine.
Yeah, but look, I get it.
How? Sway?
No, but hear me out, right? Hear me out, gents. This for me, I think is realistic AF. I'll
I'm
tell you
listening.
why. If you've known this kid since you started working there, or he's known you since he started going to that school, there's little to zero chance that this kid would have dope in his bag, because you know this nigga. Like, you know this kid. So even if he does have it, you will not. It's like, you know that thing where parents think they know their children, and the cops come knocking in, the parents are like, "Not my son. My son would never do such a thing." Because you have seen this kid since he was like you think he's a coward, or you think he's too much of a nerd to go and smash Britney Spears or whatever. So what I'm figuring out is, like, this guy just looks at this kid and is like, this nigga. If it was Lakeith Stainfield, on the other hand, yeah, sure, we're gonna search his ass, but not
twice.
Malcolm. Not
But
Malcolm.
it's public school. It's public school. Like,
I don't know.
even if like,
okay,
let's say you don't believe Malcolm.
Let me put it like this. I understood the intention of what they were doing there in that scene.
I understood the intention, but what I'm trying to say is that, one, he's a security guard. Two, he's known gangsters and all of those things. So chances are he knows that people can plant stuff on people. Even if he doesn't believe it's Malcolm's, he can still search Malcolm's bag, because there's no way there's two fails. Like, the dog and the machine go off. You, as a security guard, you should say there's something is wrong here.
As far as that nigga's concerned, that dog is tripping, and that machine, is tripping.
So the machine, the keen senses of because remember, this dog has probably caught stuff before. Like, has the dog failed?
Probably never before.
Has the machine failed?
Again, this is gonna come back later on. It's so fucking.
What's the success rate?
If I was the
fact that we're having this
dog,
conversation,
I would be offended. I'm like, nigga, me, nigga, I've been doing this shit for
If I was the machine, I'm like, I was built for precision.
If he was white, I would have said this is prime racism. Do you know what I mean? If Malcolm was white, you would have said this is racism. So now I'm like,
just let this nigga waltz. And both the machine and the dog. Okay, anyway.
Rocky has plot armor. Malcolm has plot armor for days, though.
But believe it or not, this will become relevant later on. This is actually prime storytelling. Well, no, what this is not prime storytelling. What it is this is why, ladies and gentlemen, you go over your script twice. twice. You take a break and you look at the script again, because what you do when you have more,
No,
you'll
this
be
is
like,
waiving.
Yo,
This is waiving consequences, which is another, or a waiving of stakes actually, which is another thing in
no,
this movie that, yeah, which is another thing in this movie that we need to talk about, because stakes just come and go in this movie. Like, people who you thought were gonna be an issue just disappear, and you're like, where did he go? What?
it
But
seems
okay.
like you're pretty
well,
convinced that this
well,
movie had multiple rewrites, Rob.
oh yeah, I'm very convinced. It's like the thing we talked about in Karate Kid, where the script was so flippant tight. I think this had the same thing where, like, because remember something, a lot of the times, right, when you have a scene that gets when you get a call back, 9 times out of 10, number one, if it's in a first draft, it means you either wrote it for that callback to happen, or number two, it was in multiple drafts. That's normally when I do my writing. That's where most of my callbacks come in, where I'm like, oh, okay, I've said something later in the future. Here are the lines. Let me just put that there, that there, that there. Now, as per what Buck is saying,
Yeah.
that still doesn't mean that doesn't mean that what Buck is saying is wrong, by the way. You can still say that scene is wrong, but if you want that scene to stay there no matter what, right? It doesn't matter. You can still fill it in with callbacks so it's connected. Even if you don't think the scene in general is supposed to be there, it still has all the threads that come together. And you'll see why that comes together. I'll explain it later in about the 1 hour
Like,
mark.
I think if you just had one of the things fail, like, for example, right, if they just had a kid, like, what I'm saying is, for me, if to fix this and keep this scene the way that it is, if one of the kids got searched before Malcolm
Yeah.
got there and they saw
Yeah.
that there was nothing in the bag, he
Yeah.
could just be like, the dog is tripping, doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then when Malcolm walks through, it's just like, you don't know what you're doing, and this thing could be faulty or whatever. Because we don't know the success rate of the dog and the machine, now we're just like, they just gave Malcolm a free pass. So it's just have a little bit of a setup to say that the dog has failed before, and then
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
That would be insane. Because remember,
Anyway.
like, it's only the time you're seeing the dog. There's no time for that. Remember that
That's
right
true.
now the
That's
script is
true,
actually
Rob.
doing a lot of heavy.
Unless-
No,
unless-
that scene, I'm saying that, what I'm trying to say, that scene when he's walking down the hallway, just have one
Yeah.
of the extras get searched by the thing. What's this, by the security guard as he's walking down the hallway. It doesn't have to be in focus in the shot. It can be like in the background, and then we can see that it doesn't have anything. And then you can just be like, maybe something is going on here, or something's faulty with the equipment. It can be the same shot.
But that would lose the shock factor, though, because the idea is that he's supposed to be so innocent that they would rather believe in that a dog is insane than believe that you. Okay, but then how do you get that scene back? Because you must explain that Malcolm is so innocent that he can get special access. Because that's the point of the scene.
No, but remember, again, the other thing. True, I get that, but again, remember, they do it twice. So already the second time, that's when he's going to be using his innocence, which would equal the shock factor.
I think.
Well, yeah, the first time accident, and the second time's on purpose. Yes.
Or maybe if Stacy was
So I'm saying that him using it on purpose is more of a shock factor than him using it by accident. Because remember, we also don't know what's in the bag until we get to see what's in the bag. I get that the bag has the setup, but I don't think the shock gets lost, because remember, he's not aware of what's going on.
Yeah, what we are gives us, the audience, the visual cue, and then when he figures it out, we the audience already know.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, either way, doesn't matter. Either way. I think both ways could work. Yeah. Cool. One moment. Where are we? Things are about to kick off.
They're about to discover the drugs in the bag.
Yes. Yeah. Please. Now, if one considers
Do they go to the classroom or what?
I'm kind of still. Oh no! See, I wrote a whole speech. So wait, let me just. It feels awkward afterwards. Okay. If one considers all elements considered, this is a situational change, and therefore the new day, the discovery of the drugs and change situation is considered the start of the second act. But yeah. Anyway, point is, ignore that. They are absolutely freaking out because now they've discovered the drugs. As well, they should be. That chippy but non-meta dialogue is still flowing here. So it's not full Josh Whedon, but they're still kind of having that like back and back. Most especially when they figure out what must have happened. When then you kind of a little mini flashback of ASAP Rocky filling the bag with drugs. Then they're interrupted by a phone call. It is a person who knows about him and the drugs, and that they were left by ASAP. The dialogue ends up being chippy still, but still dark, which in hindsight I realize is stupid, but because of the stellar performance by Shamik Moore. By the way, this is the moment in my editing thing when I realized who Shamik Moore was. Like I didn't know this was still the same person because he looks so different with all that extra weight. But
He was
anyway,
so
yeah.
young, yeah.
Anyway, I do think dude, I think this was a fantastic performance by Shamik Moore, and he sells the silliness so well, and he makes it feel real. Anyway, and school ends. They headed to the car, and it's about to go down when bam, as it turns out.
Okay, I gotta ask a question here, right? What's this? Okay, no. Actually, I'll ask the question after you get to the part in the scene. My question comes afterwards. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They go into the red car. They go into the
calls,
Corvette or whatever.
And in the jail, and it turns out it's the phone call from jail. ASAP is calling about the bag. This is where things turn out to be not nearly as simple as we thought they would be. Plot twist, the person in the car is going to kill them. And now Malcolm has to run for his life.
Yeah, so here's my question. Had Malcolm handed that over, would this person have just committed murder in the street right then and there?
I think yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the idea.
Yeah.
Because what I'm trying to understand is that he was doing a lot of work to get the bag. So I feel like if they just gave him the bag, I don't know. Again, I'm not a gangster. I don't know how gangsters operate. But I'm just like, that street was like full of witnesses. Like if he did shoot him in the street, maybe a lot of people would be able to place him.
That's just another drug-based statistic, man. Inglewood. I think that was the idea. You just be another bad stat.
Okay, I guess. I have a bigger criticism later.
Actually, I do actually understand your point there. I do actually agree with it. I did actually think, I'm like, well, I mean, it can't be that bad. I mean, how insane is this person? That did cross my mind as well, actually.
You're telling me that nobody saw Ricky get shot in the hood? Nobody. Nobody saw Ricky get shot. Nobody.
Just the dogs barking.
But I'm saying it's a school.
Yeah.
I feel like there's white people there that would be like, police.
Are you talking about the schools where kids go in with guns and shoot in the schools in real life?
They get arrested though.
Yeah, but they still commit the murder.
Someone is there.
We're not talking about whether the person is gonna get arrested or not. We're talking about whether he was gonna murk the kid. Yes.
What I'm trying to say, because what I'm trying to say is this person is moving so discreetly. They're like, come place the bag, do this, yada, yada, yada. Do you have the lunchbox? He's using a lot of code words and stuff, and he's trying to get this drug delivery. I'm like, would he just shoot this guy in the street?
He's such a dweeb, bro. Yeah. He's like talking about the lunchbox. The guy's like, what the the lunchbox. Nigga, you got it or not? Like
that was the
anyway, my criticism comes later. So yeah, they're on the run for their life. This is where one of my big criticisms of this movie is gonna come.
Only now is it big. Oh, I'm excited for this one. Actually, funny enough, this is actually where I would say my first criticism actually shows up. This is the first time I'm really attacking the movie because I actually, believe it or not, I hated this chase scene. To me,
really,
yeah, I thought it was an annoying scene. I hated it. It felt very like this movie feels expensive right up until this chase scene. I'm not a fast person, but I could have caught those kids. I would have caught those kids nice and easy. And those people, nah.
You know what? I think I understand what you're trying to say, but nothing beats the Leia scene in Obi-Wan, dog. Little Leia running away from
that is one of the worst. Oh, God.
No, you know what? That was ridiculous, man. because there's a part of the scene where it looks like the little girl is running. She is not moving fast. I swear they started having the actors trip over their own feet to frame Leia getting away from the.
I'm like, what's going on?
You're supposed to be bounty hunters. Like, you're supposed to be people. Like, they paid you to do this. Why are you running like you're untied?
You guys are pros. What's going on
What
here?
in the Scooby-Doo?
Bounty hunters.
No, this is like Spy Kids when they defeat the grown trained assassins with like marbles. Like, they throw marbles on the floor and the niggas is like, whoa, 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 whoa,
and
whoa.
banana peels. You're like, nigga, I paid you 50K for this job. And you're gonna be defeated by a banana peel? Get the hell out of here. You know what I mean?
No, it's like in the previous scene, he's killed like 60 people, like with the pistol, and you're just like, but what? How?
Three American kids calling themselves ninjas are gonna kick your butts. Get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yes, 100%.
That time their master's Hattori Hanzo or some shit, and I'm like, you heard one ayah and you went down. Anyway,
But anyway, so I felt like this was very lackluster. You know what it kind of reminded me of? With like it kind of reminded me of how like Christopher Nolan's action scenes, where this man will work his ass off setting up a bunch of stuff, and then you'll see like a stunt man knocking himself out in the background, and you're like, oh come on, man. Because you know what I mean, like early Christopher Nolan action wasn't his thing, and I feel like I forgot what the director's name is, but maybe chase scenes weren't his thing, because it feels like such a weird drop off compared to the quality of the rest of the movie. For me, it stuck out. Anyway, they're hunting the kids, and then they see Malcolm.
It kind of felt unrealistic that they managed to outrun him with bicycles. I was like, they're not taking like back routes or whatever.
Exactly.
So. But anyway.
And you see at one point they stop so they can push the bicycle over a chain.
Dude.
And you're like, okay, but you're caught now. You're caught now. Now they got you.
But here's the thing I never understood. And this thing has been boggling my mind since I was watching Recess as a kid, like in primary school in the 90s. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do the friends have to run with you? Like, what are they running away from? What did they do? Because, like, this is Malcolm's problem. What did they do?
Hostages. You're brutal, bro. You're brutal, my man.
I'm just
every man for himself, God for us all.
No, not necessarily. Okay.
2026.
If you are the criminal, okay, wait. If you are the criminal, you're chasing that one dude. You're not chasing his friends, are you? Why are you chasing his friends? What did they do?
To be fair, he doesn't know who's talking on the phone, I think. Oh no, does he?
No, he doesn't.
I'm not sure.
Hey, I got another question. Did these guys see Malcolm's face?
Yeah, because later on it doesn't feel like they know who Malcolm is.
Yeah, later on it doesn't feel like they know.
Okay, so that's where my criticism is going to come.
But they know. So now, but they know that it's
not getting to the house.
They know it's not Diggy.
This is when they're getting to the house, ne?
You know what I'm saying?
During the chase.
Like they know it's not Diggy. If you look at that scene that you're talking about, that later scene,
yeah,
you could see they know it's not Diggy and they know it's not Jib.
Yeah, true. So maybe they think it's the other guy. I don't know. But my point is, actually, I don't know. We'll see. That's actually a good question. But anyway.
All right. Anyway,
and as I was saying, in the middle of the chase, right?
They're getting to the boys' club.
Well, yes, in the middle of the chase, what you kind of see here is a little bit of at least some good story beats where you can see how Malcolm, yes, he's an intelligent person, because they're like, why, how do they keep knowing where we are? And then Malcolm has an idea as to why they're being chased. And then we cut to the gangster's perspective. And they hunt down the phone signal, they jump on a bus, and that's the mother, right? And then it forces them to stop and they search to find the phone. Mother, of course, not connected, the whole scene. Anyway, how rich are these kids, by the way? Is it me, or are they just like their bicycle is worth more than the money I earned in my whole high school?
I don't get that phone thing. What happened exactly?
It's probably an iPhone.
No, he was like, find my iPhone. So basically they managed to, how?
That's
That's
my
some
question, Bug.
Tony Stark technology.
That's my question.
These gangsters, how?
My question is, what exactly did they do with that phone?
Yeah, they somehow knew how to
No,
track.
but
Remember,
also, how did they
it's
find it?
phone.
Wait. We got to go back to it. We got to go back to it. That phone in particular, is that Malcolm's phone?
No,
That's my question.
That's ASAP's phone.
That's my question.
The phone that was in the bag.
Whose
Okay.
phone is it?
It's ASAP.
Okay, so it's
He
ASAP's
left
phone.
The phone,
But
the gun, and the drugs in
all
the
right,
bag.
so that means that guy was that guy had to have known ASAP to be a snitch.
Exactly.
But okay, this is what I'm saying in the
saying.
movie in terms of. But this is what I'm saying in terms of the movie, in terms of connective tissue. I feel like we should have seen that dude at the party.
Mm.
Because we didn't.
Which
We
guy?
never find out.
The guy that's chasing the kids?
Yes.
The guy
We
who's
never
the
find
snitch.
out.
Yeah, the guy who's the snitch. We never find out how he's connected to ASAP.
Or if he's a police snitch or another rival gang snitch. We never know.
Wait, are we talking about the guy that's chasing the kids?
Yes, the two guys that are chasing the kids. We've never seen them
Yes.
before. And
who was the guy in the bus?
Know everything.
Who was the guy in the bus holding the phone?
No, the phone was dropped. There was no one in the bus holding the phone.
No, that was the guy who was driving. So there's no one in the bus holding the phone. So what happened is that he put the phone in the bus to lead them on a wild goose chase because they were tracking the phone. Which, okay, I don't know how he managed to be able to get himself connected to ASAP's phone because I don't know why a gangster would let himself be vulnerable like that, but whatever. And then put it to the side. What I'm trying to say is that we've never seen this guy before. He's the scariest guy in the movie to me so far, but we've never seen him before. We don't know how he's connected to ASAP. We don't even know his motivation for wanting these drugs in particular. Like, is it a rival gang that is trying to sell is ASAP's product that much better that this guy's trying to get his hands on it so that he can start manufacturing it? I'm not sure what the motivation is here. He feels like it kind of feels like a slasher situation. It's like a Jason Voorhees.
He sort of feels like
he's just chasing him because he's scary.
I know the dope.
I feel like you should have connected him to ASAP.
I know the dope itself is a MacGuffin.
Sorry, go ahead.
But it does also feel like this dude is a MacGuffin as well. Because we don't know anything about him. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know anything.
Yeah, he's just kind of...
Throughout the whole movie, we know nothing about this guy.
He's just a gangster, yeah. It's very odd. Like, why not just make him a crypt or a blood? Why does
this movie has I feel like one of the problems that I have with this movie is that it's a revolving door of villains. Like, they're playing villain musical chairs.
Yes. Yeah.
I think the idea of theirs on purpose is like they want to be like everyone's dangerous to these kids. I feel like that's what they were going for. To the point where now there's...
I get that, but I feel like... Yeah, I get that, but I feel like the tension kind of gets lost for me because it's just like the guys who were providing tension just disappear. And the new guy, we don't really get to see. We'll get to him when we get to him. I'm skipping ahead. Keep going, Rob.
All righty. Yeah, so yeah, we see how clever he is with the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah, they go to the address, the boys' club, and the story slows down finally after that nice, great shock twist plus action. And we are getting hip hop all the time, by the way. Anyway, yeah, they get to the address. They get inside and they're met with children, the children of the person they're supposed to meet.
Okay, we gotta pause here. Oh my God, Malcolm. Oh my God. Oh my God, Malcolm. So you're smart enough to realize you're getting tracked by this guy, so you put the phone on the bus to lead them on a wild goose chase.
I still don't know how he got that phone on
You don't just leave the drugs and go home.
That phone on the bus thing for me still doesn't make sense, even after you guys tried to explain it. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. No, but no, it doesn't make sense because we don't... Yeah, but I'm saying it doesn't make sense because we didn't see how it happened. It kind of just he realizes and makes 1, 2, and 2, and then teleports into the bus.
Yeah,
Okay,
it just feels like they
I'm
wrote
not gonna hold
themselves
on
in
to
a
it.
corner. Because are you telling me that he quickly ran into the bus, left the phone there, got out of the bus, and still got enough time to run? Still, fam, come on.
While being chased by a guy who had
While
a
being
car.
chased.
But anyway, let's
Aye.
let's put that aside. Let's put that aside. Malcolm, gunfire happened, right? And that's probably that's the night before, by the way. Gunfire happened. You heard bullets. You were just chased by a guy who was going to kill you. According to ASAP Rocky, he could shoot you in the street. You find out that you're at the house of the bra that is connected to ASAP Rocky. You don't leave the drugs and go home. They haven't seen your face yet. They don't know who you are. You don't just say, look, this is for your dad. Here you go. Bye. No, you see a girl take her top off and you run straight into the house, knowing that these people are connected to gangsters. You idiots. Why?
I told you.
Why?
This makes sense to me. I'll tell you why. Earlier, this nigga was willing to risk his life for booty. Remember? At the club. When, when they didn't want to get in.
He didn't know there was gunfire.
No, I
People
know.
fired
I'm
guns.
talking
He
about the
knows this is
bouncers.
real now.
I'm talking about the bouncers. That nigga was willing to get his ass whooped to get into the club to see Zoe Kravitz. And also, he kept on risking his life by
And
wanting to
ass
dance
whooping
with
is very different from bullets.
Zoe Kravitz in front of A$AP Rocky at A$AP Rocky's party, dog. So this nigga, he's
But
willing to do whatever it takes for booty, dog. That's the consistent thing about this character.
he just went through a chase scene. He just went through a chase scene where his life was almost forfeit. He knows how deep and serious this thing is right now. In the beginning of the scene, he's talking about, I'm gonna drop this thing and leave. I'm like, cool. She takes her top off, he goes inside. I'm like, so you wanna die, Mus?
But also,
okay,
what's wrong with that sister? Is she a nudist? What's the problem? Put on some clothes. Like,
clothes.
the fuck?
Oh, shut up. Put up some clothes. What? What am I hearing from you gentlemen?
No, Rob. Rob, if you have a sister,
dude, you can't tell me that you can't tell me that horny is going to.
No.
Yes,
if you have
I
a
am
younger
telling
sister,
you that.
you have a younger sister who
Yeah.
opens who opens to a stranger topless. Why? What's the problem? Like, go put on some clothes.
we discovered
she look. No, look, her being her is whatever. My gripe is with Malcolm. I'm like, you're shown to be an intelligent character. You're shown that this is real now. You're even saying to your friends, we're gonna drop this dope, we're gonna leave. And then because one topless woman,
Bruh, if
bullets,
he's
my nigga, bullets.
if he's the leader of that gang, then he's the fucking worst
Bullets.
leader ever. Like, cause
the most
Diggy,
American Pie thing in the
cause
world.
No,
Diggy and JB are
I'm
like,
like
what the fuck?
Diggy and them didn't say no, but I'm saying they didn't hold like this is the other thing. They didn't say, hey, Malcolm, like pull Malcolm to the side. Diggy, you're the lesbian. You're not convinced by like she didn't convince you. She convinced Malcolm, meaning that you still have your faculties together. Pull this nigga to the side and say, drop this shit off and let's go home and be normal people. What are we doing here? Anyway, I'm done. I was mad.
No, all three
right
of them were actually interested in that girl, but Malcolm wanted to smash.
Yeah.
You know, the other two were like, yeah,
because he got the eye contact.
Yeah.
You're in the midst of bullets and a gun chase where you almost died. Okay.
Did all three of them have backpacks? Actually, not.
They're what?
Yeah, I think so. I think
all three of them have bags. So I remember the girl was interested in his bag, but like
they came from school. Yeah, they came from school, so they all had bags. They came from they're in matric basically, so they all had bags. Yeah, I was furious. I was like, so you want to die?
It's a Siren's Call. We're all about to watch the
Siren's
Odyssey.
Call.
We'll see. We'll see.
Sirens Call. Sirens have magic. All she did was get topless one time, and this bro almost forgot that he died. Oh, he
Oh, we
almost
say
died
that
like
titties
2
aren't
minutes ago.
magic now. Oh, since when does titties aren't magical now? What's going on?
Did it override bullets at a
Okay,
near
so
death
clearly,
scenario?
Rob, if Buck and I were with you in that situation, we clearly would have gone into the house. If you
We're
were
dead.
Malcolm, we were
We're
fucked.
dead.
We were gonna be fucked because of you. Because you are clearly Malcolm in this case.
Okay, first of all, Kutsa, after what you said earlier, I know you're not dying with me. After your wee business,
What did I-
where are we going?
No, I was just
know
gonna
you're
ask you
leaving
guys.
us
I was
that
gonna say, yo, Buck, why are we running? Why are we running? Why are we running? Just let
That's
just let
who's we?
just let
No,
Rob.
no, Kuto's gonna be like, hey dog. Kuto's gonna be like, hey dog, Buck. Like, what's this? He's looking for a red car. We should be going home. He can
Yeah.
go to the red car by himself. We'll see you
will-
tomorrow,
yeah,
Chief.
cheers. I'll see you tomorrow, Chief. It's all right. We'll pray for you or some shit. I don't know. Sure.
Tomorrow on the news. Today, Rob Smeko was shot in the streets. There were 2 witnesses. Hey, we didn't see nothing, dog.
I'll be like, this is why we didn't go. This is why I said we shouldn't go. This is exactly why I said it.
All right, let's continue. Let's continue.
So anyway, they get inside and they're met. Yeah, okay, no, I did that already. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, they met with the children who they're supposed to meet. Now over here we kind of get something interesting with the diegetic play on the music. It's very interesting because as the conversation, which is a funny one, of course, typical trippy, awkward stuff, while being dark at the same time without any real banter flows. As that's going on, we kind of see
That guy actually steals the scene for me.
Side note:
The
Are
brother.
those two? Side note: Are those two kids black or half black or something,
I think they're half
or are
black.
they Latino?
I would say high yellow
What?
bones, yeah. I mean the guy's name, the father's name is George.
They don't look straight.
I think they're
George
mixed.
Day?
They're probably mixed.
Yeah, let's say mixed, yeah. George Day, yeah. I think they're mixed.
Okay, all right. Reason I'm asking is because again, they are also at least that bra, he's also N-word central, and then you're like, how did you get away with this?
Yeah, why is no one smacking you? Which is funny, but we'll get there.
Yeah, like I'm just like, I guess PSA for white people, especially if you're in America, if you ever want to say the N-word, just get cast in a movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds about right to me. But yeah, anyway, I was saying the diegetic music.
Work with Tarantino, and you'll get to say it for like 80% of the movie. You'll get all of the N-words out in your lifetime. But anyway.
Yeah, the diegetic play of music is interesting because the music literally stops for him. Because as he tries to figure out an awkward answer, it kind of feels like everything that's been happening is happening all in his head because it all has the same mindset of music that would be in his head as playing in the background. And then as he's in the serious mode, the music kind of stops. And I just thought that was really fascinating, especially when they cross over into the pool area. Then you see that, oh no, the music is in the background, so it is diegetic. So is it like in the background or is it in his head? Is it in the movie? What's going on? And I just thought that was very interesting the way they're playing with that, the idea that a lot of this might just be in his head. And
I like it when movies do stuff like that. You know, it's like when you're watching a series or a movie and you're showing a new scene and there's music playing in the background and you think it's part of the movie until someone stops the song or pauses the music and you're like, oh, flip.
Yeah.
This is actually part of the story.
Yeah, this is real. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get where you're coming from.
I thought that was interesting. Yeah.
I still think Baby Driver did that the best though, but that's me.
Oh yeah. To be fair, also the first time he really experimented with it was not Scott Pilgrim, Shaun of the Dead. You'll kind of see where there's a lot of movement and action scenes that go in time with the music as well. It is very, very, very fun of him, and of course he does it as well at World's End as well. with the montage.
Oh, you're
But
talking
that's
about
more
Edgar.
blatant.
Edgar Wright,
But
yeah,
yes,
of course.
Edgar Wright, yes. Because remember, that's also dope. Not dope. Baby Driver is Edgar Wright as well. All
Yes,
three
it
of
is.
those movies are Edgar Wright.
Yes.
Anyway, yes. Cool, cool. And now we wait. Everything appears to be going fine, as now all they have to do is sit with the son and just wait for the father to collect, and they will all be fine. We're deep in the fun and games now. As they are literally playing music, they are jamming, they are laughing and jamming. When you're in the fun and game section, ladies and gentlemen, you know you're deep in the second act. So yeah. This is
Everybody just forgot about the fact that they almost got gunned down in the street
Mhm.
2 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
this is
Yeah,
this
no
is
one
like
cried.
Timon and Pumbaa situation moment right there, where they're just telling
Yeah.
Simba to forget his trauma.
And it's like,
Exactly.
yo, do you have like this is how you create children who are bipolar? Like you can't just whip back and forth from trauma to Akuna Matata. Here I know we almost died.
To be fair, there was like a time skip with Lion King. It was over the course of years. I'm sure there was time for him to be curled up in the fetal position crying. But, so there's excuse there.
In dope, I'm saying in dope, they were
Yeah,
getting chased down by dope dealers who were riding in a red car who almost shot them. I don't even know why they didn't just dump on them through the fence anyway. Because if you had guns, and that fence is not a defensive shield, but I'm getting lost in the weeds.
I wonder if
All I'm trying to say is that these people were trying to chase them down to kill them,
I
and
wonder
they got
if
into this house.
if the red card thing was a nod to Boys in the Hood. Now that I think about it.
wouldn't be surprised. You
Probably.
had a lot of Boys in the Hood kind of vibes going on here.
No, I think it was a direct reference because it's the same type of car, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And
It
the
looked like
guy
a
was
muscle
wearing
car,
red as well, I think.
and it even had a stripe. It even had the black stripes on the front. I think it's a direct reference to Boys in the Hood.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
Makes you wonder.
Anyway,
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. The downtime, we're 42 minutes in, by the way. The downtown can't last forever as we cut to the thugs hunting them, who have just gotten a message. Because yeah, you guys talking about the red car. The red car doesn't know they're there yet. That's why there was no shooting. They get a message snitching on the situation, and now the red car knows.
who was the snitch?
We never find out, as far as I know. For all I know, it was fucking Zoe Saldana. What's in it?
This is magical snitches left and right in this movie.
We never find out.
Kravitz.
Yeah.
This is like it's like Gibaloyimus. I don't know, like there's somebody who casts snitching spell, and like just whenever the snitch is needed, then it comes through somehow, or they summon snitches. I'm so
That's
confused.
why
But anyway,
that's why I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's been edited and it was left at the cutting room floor. Because there's some
but
connective
movies
tissue
that do this,
missing.
I don't understand why you would edit out. Yeah, but I'm saying I don't know why you would edit out those parts. Like there's this movie that Fassbender did. What was it called again? Something Snowman. Geez, it was like a horror movie. I'm trying to remember I think something Snowman. It's called Snowman something. People who know. But anyway, he in the movie he plays a detective, and the serial killer is a person who kills people and puts the head on snowmen or whatever. So they're supposed to do like an investigation to find the serial killer. They couldn't film 15% of the script that they originally needed to shoot. So a lot of the stuff got jumbled and none of the stuff in the movie could connect. So so many crucial points to make the movie good were left on the cutting room floor. And it was just like you can't do that with mystery movies because you need to connect the pieces. So I'm saying here as well, cutting stuff that leads to connective tissue or editing scenes down, especially when some of this stuff needs to connect in order to heighten up the tension. Because I remember I was watching this YouTube video where they were talking about tension is just reminding people of the stakes in the plot. That's how you create tension. So I was just saying that constant reminder or that constant, this is the people who are following Malcolm and them. I feel like that would have made it hit much more harder in terms of paranoia. And that the movie just didn't have that for me. Anyway.
I hear
No,
what you're
I hear
saying.
you.
I do.
I hear you.
Uh, yeah, okay. Yeah, sure.
No, say what you gotta say,
Uh,
bro.
but I do feel no, I'm not arguing. I'm just like I do think you guys. I do actually think the script is a lot tighter than you guys are giving it credit for. But no, I hear what you're saying.
But
But anyway,
who's the snitch then? You see, like in
I
The
don't.
Departed, for example, Rob, you find
Yeah.
out that even though Matt Damon's character and Jack Nicholson's character, Costello and the kid, even though had a father and son relationship, those niggas turned on each other. Anyway, in the movie,
Yes.
because Matt Damon wanted to take out his father because he thought that his father was going to snitch on him, even though Matt Damon is working for his father. So you get the connection there, you get the tension there. It makes sense. But in here, we're
Okay.
like,
But now, okay, knowing what does it change? Okay, we find out it's the guy that we find out it's a stupid slippery slope guy. What changes?
look,
What's the new
Okay,
let me
my
put it like
argument with
this.
that would
Let me put it
like my
like this.
argument would be in that direction.
Let me put it like this. It would have.
Okay.
Remember when we were watching Princess Mononoke, I told you that Ashitaka feels like he's a main character, but the story doesn't necessarily revolve around him. City of God,
Yes.
Rocket as well. The story doesn't necessarily revolve around him. He just happens to be a spectator in certain things that are
Yes.
unfolding. Frodo, same thing.
Yes.
Like you just happen to be the guy who was given a ring in a very, very hectic war, right? So what I'm trying to say is
Okay,
if
anyway,
we had a
That's
okay.
background about
that's
A$AP
wild.
Rocky's character and his dealings and the connection between him and the dad of these two kids, it would have made more sense. It would have given more
But
depth to
we
the
have the
story.
connection. But we have the connection. It's that
No, we have a connection, but what I'm trying to say is that the guy is chasing them down. This is what I'm saying. In a rewrite, if I was writing this, the guy that was chasing them down, he would just be featured throughout the plot. He would be like maybe a B plot or even a C plot where he's
Yes,
trying to replace ASAP Rock somehow. And
yes,
these drugs are connected to him replacing ASAP Rock somehow. Like
yes.
somehow these are the most high end anything, and he's doing everything to get his hands on them. So when he's trying to find these kids, and he can, it doesn't have to be shown. It could just be a line where he's got his own connections, but then he feels like he's a villain who's also trying to get at Malcolm because Malcolm has something that he wants. And this, the way they frame it, he doesn't like he disappears
We
after
don't get
this
his
scenario that we're gonna
motivations, basically.
talk
We don't
about.
know
And
what
I was
his
like,
motivations
why?
is. Yeah,
whose
I get you.
motivation? Wait, I'm losing you guys. Whose motivation? Because remember, these guys get caught. I mean, like
No, the motivation of the guy in the red car. No, yeah, I'm saying they get
the
caught, but I'm just
drugs.
like,
He
well,
wants the
my
drugs.
thing is that I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, but why? And why
Why?
these ones specifically? And
Yeah.
why is he tracking
Drug
ASAP's
dealer wants
phone?
drugs.
And why is he possibly the snitch? No, but I'm
But you
saying, but
also
he's
why
possibly
drug
the
dealer wants
snitch. Snitch
drugs
for what? Why these
for the
ones
drug,
specifically? Why does it have to be these ones?
as opposed to
What is
other
it about
drugs.
ASAP's drugs that are making it? Yes, what is it about ASAP's drugs that are making him go this hard to where he's tracking phones, to where he's driving down the street, to where he's chasing these kids? If he's
Wait, are you
that
guys?
big of a drug dealer, he can get access to other drugs.
But these ones are free. But are you like? Do you understand what I mean? Like you have to pay
Yeah,
for
but
the drug.
I'll,
You don't have to pay for these ones. They're
okay. What I'm trying to say, Rob, is
yeah,
that ASAP pins this guy as the possible snitch because ASAP
yes,
says there's somebody in his organization that wants to take him
yes.
down. Making this guy the guy that wants to take ASAP down in the organization makes the story that much tighter because then it makes sense to why he's chasing Malcolm so much.
Mm.
Right now, he's just an obstacle. And I feel like that makes him a flat character because I don't know what he
Why
really
did he
wants in
call
the
Malcolm in
story.
the first place?
If he was trying to replace ASAP,
Yeah.
Okay, I hear what you guys are saying, but
how did he get ASAP's number? Like, does it mean he was planning this for a long time? Like, how did he know to use the Find My Phone stuff? Was he planning this operation for a while? I just could have used some of that because what I'm saying is that he's a legitimate threat. I would have liked him to be interwoven into the story a little
I
bit
hear
more.
what you're saying, man. I really
And
do.
also, like, he was so smart to track Malcolm down. He was so smart to track Malcolm down. He put himself in a situation where he was going to get arrested, and also he's rolling with two people. I feel like he's a bigger organization than that for all the stuff he was doing. I don't know. It felt like that's what I'm saying. Revolving door. First, it was ASAP that was the villain, and then it's this new guy, and then he's about to revolve out again. And it's like I was interested in what we were doing here, but I guess we're not doing it anymore. Anyway.
Okay. For me, I feel like we're stuck with that Indiana Jones thing where, like, okay, you guys know Prometheus, right? You guys know the movie Prometheus?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, Fassbender, yeah.
Yeah, Michael
Yeah.
Fassbender, not the second one, the first one. There's a scene where like Scarlett Johansson is like shows where Wotani is still alive, and she's like, I've brought you, father. And then the entire internet went, why did you even bother? Who cares? Like, why do you even bother explaining that? And to me, it just feels like like that was just a waste of a few minutes of a scene that could have just tightened a whole movie up.
Okay.
I feel like there's a pacing issue that we're forgetting here, where it's like, in terms of pacing, this is already a 2 hour movie. And I feel like, yeah, they could have explained it, but it would have distracted from the hero's journey. If that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I understand what you guys are saying. I understand. It is a thread that is not sealed, but personally, myself, I just didn't feel like it had to be. But I could understand why people would want it to be sealed. No, that's fair. I'm not, yeah, that's fair.
Well, but then I think in a rewrite, when they introduced the actual villain of the piece, he
Yeah.
should have just been more prevalent than he was.
No,
I
fair
just feel
enough.
like then you should have cut this guy out. You like if you weren't gonna expand upon him, they should have cut this guy out and trimmed the fat of the movie in general.
Yeah, I hear what you're trying to say. No, actually, I understand what you're saying. That's valid. But yeah, okay, yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. Yeah, the downtime can't last forever as we cut to the thugs hunting them who have just gotten the message. There is a very unique split screen here that I love. It's almost as if to remind us that shit ain't sweet. Split screens in films are extremely rare because what they do is they tend to remind you that you're watching a movie, so they're very dangerous to use. But I think these were done very well. Anyway, yeah, the idea of there being a snitch is very clear now. As the thugs take action while at the same time keeping the flow of the guys chilling and relaxing. The group splits up as shown with a second split screen. As the thugs follow after the car. Now, now we're given some more information of things that we know
Yeah,
that,
by the
that
way,
the main characters don't.
the group is not splitting up because it's being strategic or anything. It's splitting up because Malcolm wanted some ass. That's the only reason they split up.
Yep. That's why everyone didn't die in the restaurant.
Yeah, and then no, and also the other thing is Malcolm wants some ass, and this lady is very comfortable with giving it to him.
That's why
And I was
I'm
like,
saying
you met this dude like 2
that
minutes
Malcolm
ago.
is written as if
What
it's
did he
like the
do?
hottest thing since sliced bread.
What did he
Like,
say?
like you're just meeting someone and you're
Like
already
he
gonna
plays
give
a
it up.
guitar for 2 minutes, and she's like, "I'm
I've
taking my
never
shirt
seen
off."
Rogers. I've
Okay,
never seen
Rob,
Rob's face
please,
look
please,
like
please,
this ever.
when get to the scene, get to the scene and explain what we're missing because I'm not connecting here.
I'm loving it.
I've never seen your facial expression like this in my life.
What are you talking about? Smiling? Am I not happy? Am I not
I've
happy
never seen you
person?
smile like that. Never ever.
No, hey, please,
Because
please,
I think you just
please tell me why. Please tell me what happened here because my brain.
look. I know what Rob is gonna say, and I don't
Okay,
disagree with you,
we're
Rob.
taking too long.
It's pretty prevalent in the story that this girl was trying to sort of like get something from Malcolm, but nah, fam.
Yes.
There's no way
And
she
you
didn't actually
feel
like
on a
this
nerd.
nigga for
It's not
real.
gonna work. She literally forgot he existed. Like halfway, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter actually, because let me go into it. Okay, listen, we're gonna carry on and hopefully this
Okay.
will I have an
Yeah,
explanation
please,
as to why it
please.
exists.
Okay, yeah.
And you guys guys are gonna disagree, but I actually like it. But anyway,
Okay.
so yeah, Malcolm stays with the daughter, and this creates a new tension. Sorry. Now, because remember, there's no guarantee that a side character will live, especially away from the MC. This is almost the classic bum under the table threat. Danger that we
You okay,
know.
bro?
I don't know. It doesn't
Blink twice if you need help.
No, I just heard something clicking. I'm like, holy shit! I hope nothing is exploding in my room. In fact, just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, please.
I just want to make
Anyway,
sure
yeah. I guess we'll just keep it going until Rob gets back.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, all right, cool.
That's all.
So yes, bomb under the table scenario.
Yes.
Basically, the friends are gonna be found by the people in the car, and Malcolm and this woman are by themselves.
Exactly.
Okay.
And just to explain the bottom of the table, it's a danger that we know that the characters do not. Anyway, this gives him the freedom to keep the energy. What this does as a writer, lesson. What this does is give the storyline the freedom to keep the energy and tension, while at the same time slowing down character movement. Because remember, characters have to breathe. Situations have to breathe. So anyway, Malcolm is with Lily. That's her name. The daughter, and they have a moment, and it's a classic test. This is the classic test of temptation, almost like the Sirens or something similar. This is normally done in a lot of old school movies, especially when like
the 80s and shit.
Road trip type movies. Yeah, especially road trip type movies. Turns out there's a love interest, but then the guy's still a guy, and then an easier opportunity is presented to him. Yes.
I feel like it's just an opportunity for a director to just have boobs in his movie. Because those scenes usually don't make sense. Like you're showing your boobs to a dweeb in the group of geeks.
The thing that she wanted from him, I'm saying, no, the thing that she wanted from him, she could have been dressed like a nun and had her mask covered in a hijab and just hugged Malcolm from the back, and Malcolm would have melted and exploded and gave it to her anyway. There was no reason she had to get naked.
I feel like most people would have had the opposite fight and said, "Oh no!" But then, how horny is Malcolm already? I mean, Jesus, you needed her to be half naked to get him inside that room, so that way there's a
He was horny enough to forget he almost died.
Need him in. But the whole idea is pure temptation. This is classic writing, guys. This is
yeah, but anyway, at this moment, he forgot Zoe existed now. Completely
exactly, and that's the point. And as he gets told, he gets undressed and gets ready for her. We then cut to the others collecting their food, and when they are confronted by the thugs in the middle of a takeaway. If I'm correct, it's the same one that the other guy, the nerd, got shot in. Anyway, the son makes a move and pulls out a gun. So just to give you some more tension, and pulls out a gun. But the thugs are not affected. The music has changed. You are now.
I don't want to lie. When I saw that scene, right? What's this kid's name again? Quincy Brown. I'm like, why are you trying to look all cool in front of this guy? Hey, yo, I said we're gonna get some buns. I don't think you heard me, though. I said we're gonna get her food.
No. Also, here's another question. Here's another question. You're the son of a notorious gangster. You're the son of a notorious gangster or drug dealer or whatever, right? Why are you by yourself? There's no crew.
No, I think
they're going for the gas.
They don't know that the dad is.
I get what you're trying to say. Yeah.
But also,
they know.
No, they know.
Even if they do know, who is that guy trying to? Who is he trying to impress? Because he's with a lesbian and he's with another dweeb. Who is he impressing? Who is he trying to look cool for? What's with the bravado?
This is what I'm saying. He should have not been alone. But what I'm also trying to say is he should not have been alone. And also, I feel like this is supposed to be home turf. Because remember, when the shooting breaks out, Hector shows up for 2 seconds to fire one bullet. So I was like, was Hector with you?
Okay, yeah, I hear what you're trying to say, but I think in terms of the storyline, they wanted him to be alone because the whole idea is that he's not supposed to be intimidating. But I get what you're trying to say. You don't want the reality of the scene, not the actual the needs of the scene. But nah, I hear what you're trying to say. Nah, that's fair. I mean, that is why yeah.
Bruh, if I worked
Because
at
the
that
idea is that
restaurant,
No,
I
but I'm
would
saying the
quit
thing is they have
that
Hector
day.
shoot.
I would quit that day. I'm like, nah,
not
fam.
after the first net got shot. Not after the first net. Second one. The first one, you're like, you know what? I can still work here. Then the second shootings where you're like, okay, now I quit.
Dog, you're getting shot for minimum wage is wild. But
And then
anyway,
so you know you wouldn't, man. Then you're like, okay,
yeah.
guys, you better
Anyway,
stick together.
let's just keep. Let's.
We gotta stick together. Okay, no,
No,
I'm joking.
but
Okay,
for
yeah.
real, guys, I was
You speaking French?
it just didn't make sense to me why this nigga is trying to be all macho in front of his new lesbian friend and his new Indian friend.
Yeah.
I said we're gonna get our food. I'm like,
Yeah.
stop trying to look cool, dog.
Who?
Nobody gives a shit. Like,
Yeah.
Scene one, yeah. He's been flexing.
Just give them what they want.
He doesn't even
Also, and I'm like, the other thing
no.
is, it's 2 on. No, but I'm saying the other thing is like it's 2 on 1, my G. Like you're outnumbered here. You don't expect Diggy and the Indian kid to have your back in this scenario.
Dog.
And also,
We're
to be
gonna get
fair,
some
that's
food. They're under the table. They're under the table. We're gonna get some food. You turn around, Diggy and them is gone.
But you
They are
see,
sitting under the table
this is
hoping for the police to
this
come.
is
Why are you
why
doing this posturing?
this is why I'm saying those homies are not really okay. They had Malcolm's back the entire movie, dog. This nigga stands up for them. They bail. Malcolm was not standing up for them
oh
at
yeah,
all, and they had his back. This nigga has their back
pulled
for
the full
real.
Kuko. They were out of there immediately.
This nigga has their back for real, life and death. It's like, nah, fam. What are you saying? They bail. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yo,
Gone.
He got
They
shot.
were
He got shot in the leg and they left him behind. Oh no, they didn't leave him behind. They came back with the car. Can they drive?
they left him behind, dog.
Who picked up the son?
He just
They
drove
left him behind. He drives himself with the
Yes.
short leg. I was like,
Now
hey
you
dog,
see
your
later,
your
yeah.
loyalty is the points, I guess, but it was not rewarded.
And they actually,
Remember,
they actually,
yeah, remember,
they actually get the food. They take the food that nigga bought. Leave that nigga.
yeah,
Run away with the food that
yeah.
nigga bought. Talk about having
Because
homies,
ironically,
dog.
I think the real Crenshaw Mafia showed up. The one that he was fake repping. I think that's what happened because a bunch of gangsters showed up and then basically started shooting back because you can't just shoot in people in someone else's neighborhood. So that low key made sense to me.
But I thought he had to be affiliated because his dad was the young boys club and whatever. Anyway, we'll get to it. Let's keep going.
They never say it's
We're getting stuck on this scene.
Yeah.
No, it has to be because it's the ASAP Rocky's character that mentions Young Boys Club.
Yes, but
so it is gang affiliated, but we don't know to what.
No, but later on you discover that it is actually a young boys club. It's just but the point is the only gang name you actually find out with them, they mention Crenshaw Mafia and you see Bloods, and those are the only like proper gang names you see. You never really see what a proper gang name is for anything else. Because that young boys club is clearly a cover. It's like the chicken store from Breaking Bad. That's the impression I got. And it's a tool uses to pick up young boys. Intelligent young boys, but I'm gonna get into that later. And then takes advantage of them. So back at the house, Jesus, okay. He's undressed and waiting when he realizes that his bag is gone. He puts one and one together pretty quickly with a flashback. Because I remember seeing the scene. I don't know if it was like a fake flashback or something where she asked about the bag. And
No,
then he
she
runs
did.
off and
She did
runs
actually.
naked. Huh?
She did ask
Oh,
about
okay.
the bag, yeah.
But 'cause I know in the flashback she does, but I don't remember in normal time. But anyway, back at the house, he's undressed and waiting for when he realizes the bag is gone. She's already taken a punch, and the old school game of chastity in romance ends with her vomiting in his face.
Bro,
So the chat.
the boner stopped immediately. Like this guy got turned off immediately when he saw that she was sniffing.
But why did you take the bag and leave, Malcolm? Why isn't this a sign for you to go home? Nobody knows what you look like.
That's a good question. Well, I mean, ASAP knows where he lives. ASAP knows who he is.
But even if ASAP, but I'm saying even if ASAP knows where he lives, one, ASAP knows the street where he lives, and also, again, he's not affiliated with ASAP. ASAP is not expecting this guy to be a courier. ASAP knows this guy does not do this shit. So if he can just tell ASAP, I left the bag at the Young Boys Club. I
Yeah,
did what you said.
but who did you give
I'm
it to?
good.
The
I
question
don't know
is,
anything else.
who did you give it to?
No, the son of the guy you told me to give it to, he wasn't there at the time. Again, I'm a civilian. I don't live this life. I dropped the bag off. I'm going home.
I don't
Why
know,
did he
man.
take the bag again?
But I hear you though. I don't think ASAP
All
would
right.
have just let that slide that you didn't give it to the actual person.
But he wasn't there and I was getting chased for my life. I was going to die.
Well, I hear you, but I don't know. I'm not a drug dealer, so I don't know how that works.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Can't figure out the drug dealer logic.
Yeah, no.
I can't figure out the Malcolm logic for wanting to stick around. At this time I would have been talking to my mom. I would have been saying I'm sorry. I would have told her about the party, and I would have said that can we please move cities? Get another bus driving job in another city. I'm going into witness protection. This is not worth this.
You can't argue with that, that's for sure. The craziness was the craziness.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. I'm hyper criticizing a movie, but I just feel like the character that they presented to me, I don't know why he would want to stick in this situation longer than he needed to.
Also, like, was Malcolm wearing any underwear? Because we kept seeing his ass. Like, I'm like, I get that he was trying to get laid, but damn, like, the fuck?
Well, he was ready. No, he's kind of half naked, but I'm saying like he was ready. That's not the bigger problem to me. I was like, also, why weren't you watching that bag if you were that concerned about it?
He was
That would
right.
never have left my shoulder. I'll smash you with the bag on. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but that throw up scene
All
was
right, let's keep going.
It was wild, yo.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sorry, Rob. I'm throwing off the whole list tonight. Whoops.
Yep. So anyway, yeah, the vomiting on his face. This sadly ends the flow of movie tropes that people mostly would think applies to women, you know, the chastity rule. But in actual fact, you'd be surprised how often it applies to men. Even in things like road trip movies, or even movies like American Pie.
Yeah.
Where like American Pie is actually the best example. Where again, guys on a journey to try and get some self-awakening.
Yeah.
And ends up with like I think it was a foreign exchange student girl. Also topless, if I remember correctly.
Self-awakening. Yeah, of course. That's what you'd call it then.
But anyway,
and what happens?
Trying to keep it PC.
What happens?
He ends up with the foreign girl.
Oh, that's the first one.
What's
That's the
happening now?
first one. Yeah.
I barely remember that movie.
All right, well, here's what happens. He's trying to get laid with his friends. He goes on this whole journey to try and become better. Um, and he ends up actually getting an opportunity with a girl who's not actually the girl of his dreams, not the main girl, but a different girl. It ends up being a temptation thing. The foreign exchange student girl is willing to go all the way, but then something happens that again something like not to this level. Something happens that pulls him away from that situation, and he ends up back on the right path. It's
Well,
a very common,
he has
surprisingly common trope.
he pre-ejaculates, if you
I
remember.
think so. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but that was the first
No,
example I could
that's
think of where
because
that
you
happens.
remember he accidentally switched on the camera on that girl's PC, and everybody could see the whole thing.
Okay.
Everybody could see him trying to get
Yes.
laid. So
Yes.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But you're right. I feel
And
like
then
American Pie actually took that trope and everybody else tried to do it afterwards. For me, that rom-com trope, the American Pie rom-com trope, I feel like there were 5,000 movies that tried to do the same thing afterwards.
I would say it's a fairly old trope, but yes, a lot of movies did that. Yes, because the idea, of
It
course,
is an old trope.
I don't think it invented it, but I don't think it invented it, but I think it popularized it.
Exactly.
Well, definitely. But the main concept being, the wrong person will lead you to the wrong way. You've got to go the right way. It's a very, again, temptation, devil, even though technically in a lot of these movies, you'll find out that the girl in question isn't that bad.
It's
In
not a
some
bad
movies, she's
person.
absolutely evil.
It's Lana
Yeah.
and Lois Lane. That's what it is. The person is
Yeah.
not, it was just not meant for you.
Sometimes, and then other times, exactly, and other times that she will act.
And then other times it's Harley Quinn and Catwoman. And you're just like, dog, this is obvious. What are you doing here? No. It's Talia al Ghul and Catwoman, where it's just like, why are you in the Al Ghul's residence, Bruce? Go home.
They're
These
both
people
toxic.
are insane.
Leave them
They're taking
alone.
over the world every week.
More like
both
Diddy
toxic.
Al Ghul. She's basically Diddy, right?
No, Talia al Ghul straight up pulled a Diddy.
Yeah.
Straight.
Diddy Al Ghul.
Bruce woke up a baby daddy and he didn't know how. I'm like, you would never see me again. Or like we have to meet on the basis of this kid alone. And I'm wearing like 100 chastity belts around you. Anyway, that'll be my utility belt. Anyway.
Cool.
Moving on.
Freaking out. Anyway, he's freaking out. While he's freaking out, as any human being would, we see that he gets a call. And the insanely high Lily answers the phone. As it turns out, it's the college interview. He's completely forgotten about it, and he has to get there. So he fends the girl off, so he can make away, but the girl feels bad while at the same time being drunk out of her mind, well, high out of her mind, and decides to give him a lift, while of course being high out of her mind. And he has no choice but to accept, and so chaos ensues.
But it also
we're in a car
makes me wonder, if the girl didn't throw up on him, was he gonna choose getting laid over going to that interview?
Probably would never have heard the phone in the first place. He would have missed the whole call. I mean, how close is your phone anyway. But yeah.
Hey, Munag, the coochie looks so good, he almost forgot that he died in the street. I'm just gonna keep bringing that up. Moving on.
Anyway, cut to him in the car, which of course is being driven by a lady who's extremely high. And so what's supposed to happen happens. And there's a great moment of tension where Lily literally passes out at a stop sign and the cops come right at them, only for them to do a double fake out as the cop cars double back. And then they leave him alone a second time. And then, amazingly, Lily bursts out of the car, demanding that she needs to be, that she needs to pee, and of course looks for the furthest bush in the world, like literally across a busy intersection. It's like, what happened to the other corner? No, whatever. Only
so you were not sold.
Anyway, this time that one was funny but silly. And then he takes the car and leaves her behind, only for him to find the police again. Only this time it does have something to do with him. As it turns out, the friends that he left with, he sees that guy, he sees the son, but now the friends that he left with are gone. While the son is being chased. This is
Wait, wasn't Malcolm driving?
yes, Malcolm is driving and he
Malcolm is
passes the
driving.
car with the
Yeah.
son inside of
The
it.
son is driving by
Yes.
himself.
So did he drive Lily's car? So Lily
He's
drove
in
and then
his
he
car
drove
right now.
after Lily.
Yeah, he drove Lily's car.
Yes,
Okay.
because she got out of the car, she ditched him, a la Jurassic Park. He left us. Except the Jurassic Park guy actually found a toilet. But anyway, yeah, they're driving. They see the cars see each other. And by the way, I'm just loving everything about this. It's the fast pacing kind of reminds you of Karate Kid 3. We did a whole thing about it, guys. Just keep track
We
on
didn't
that.
do Karate Kid.
Anyway,
you mean 2?
is it 2? Okay, yeah, Karate Kid 2, yes. Anyway, we are hit with a flashback. We are not. Oh, by the way, we are also about 51 minutes in, which is near the middle of the movie. Actually, no, it is the middle of the movie. As we discover what has happened to the friends in the flashback. Now, just so you guys know, it's not common for it's actually not common for a giant set piece to hit in the middle of a movie, especially the middle of a set piece to hit in the middle of the movie. Normally, the middle mark will hit at the end of a revelation or a villain victory or a temporary hero victory, followed by a twist of some kind. One could consider this a sort of revelation for us, the viewer, as we discover more things that the MC doesn't know, but really, not really. It's a very odd place to put the scene.
It's kind of
And
like
one more time,
when Wonder Woman killed Bishop. Is it Bishop? Not Bishop.
I was gonna say Zemo, dog, so I don't know.
That soldier in the first movie.
Are you talking about the
Yes, you're talking about when she thinks she killed Loki. I mean,
Striker. Yeah.
Athena, Atlas.
No, not
I
Atlas.
was mentioning the
No,
right
wait.
Greek.
You mean Ares, not Ares.
Are you talking about
You talking about the first
Striker.
Wonder
not
Woman?
Ares.
Striker.
Ares, yes. When she thinks she killed Ares, but his name might be Striker. I'm not sure. But
No,
yes,
I'm
she
calling
thinks
him
she's killed
Striker
Ares,
because
and it turns out
he played Striker in Wolverine Origins, the actor.
in Origins. Oh, okay. Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But only to
Yes,
find
but
out
anyway,
that she didn't do
fake
anything.
Ares.
Like after she killed him,
Yes.
she realized
No,
that she didn't do anything.
exactly. But yes. So I actually think this actually turns out to be a pacing issue in actual fact, because the middle's not in the right place. But yes, in Wonder Woman, that was the right middle. But we'll get there, actually. Well, not the Wonder Woman part. Maybe one day. But yes, what you're saying is correct. Yes. That's a perfect middle of the mark. That is a perfect middle that you just described there. Or when I think the safe opens in Die Hard 1 and they start to try to get the money out, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah.
Yeah. When the black
You're
guy
getting the
finally
idea.
cracks the
That is
code.
normally
Yeah.
exactly. That's normally when a middle hits. So now you get the idea, and it didn't really hit here. So I think what's happened, I would say this probably to me would be the best clue that maybe there was a cut to kind of save some time, because you'll see the middle hits a few minutes later. So I think what they ended up with was maybe a cut later on, and they ended up with too big of a start. But anyway, that's if they were trying to chase an exact pacing. But yeah. One more time, we are put ahead of the MC in terms of knowledge, but again, writing conventions are still being sort of followed. But what is interesting to me is the way the revelation of what happens to the others doesn't actually last long. It gets resolved very quickly, and we discover that the thugs are completely overpowered. And Mr. Sun was shot in the leg. Before they even have a chance to question about the dope, the random gangsters start shooting at them, taking one of the thugs out, and the other thug gets arrested, and the Sun takes over, leading a major car chase. And then, boom, downtime in the 52-minute mark. So we are almost 11 o'clock. Do we keep going or what? We're at the halfway mark, and it's 11 o'clock. What are we thinking?
I mean,
I can keep going if you want.
Yeah, I'm looking at your schedule. Next week is supposed to be doing something else. That other week is supposed to do it.
Yeah,
So I
something
think,
else, yes.
yeah, you can keep going.
Because there's still another. Okay, cool. So yeah, we get surprising. So now out of nowhere, we get a lot of downtime. Um,
Wait,
turns out
what
Malcolm has
happened
made
to
the
Diggy
meeting.
and
He is
Jim?
home safe.
Because they figured out that the guy left.
No,
Did they meet
no,
up
I
with
They
think
ran
Malcolm?
away.
they just ran away.
Oh, okay.
No, they just ran away. They
They're gonna
ironically so they were
they're
like,
gonna
we're
meet up
not
with
being chased.
they're gonna meet up with Malcolm a little bit later. So yeah, now the meeting is happening, and we're introduced to the third bad guy of this piece.
Yes, Buck. Yes, we are. But not like that, but yes. It's in there's a whole setup to it, but yes, exactly.
Oh,
That's
my
exactly
bad,
what happens.
my bad.
Um, um, yeah. Anyway, he has made it to the meeting. He is home safe. The music literally stops as we get office music, and perhaps our first white woman of the entire movie, a receptionist leading into the office so he can have his meeting. But when he sits down, we discover the horror is not actually over. In a style of writing I personally love, I like to call it the small world writing, where it turns out everything is connected. Um, yeah, because he's sitting down, he looks around to find the pictures of ASAP Rocky with the small boys club. We see the two kids of the gangster he's supposed to leave the dope with. This man is the man. And that is the exact moment when he shows up. They talk, and Mr. Austin Jacoby, has no idea of the situation. When I think it is a mistake, but he thinks there's some kind of misunderstanding, but Malcolm makes the connection for him, and he admits the whole situation. And once Mr. Man, uh, Mr. Jacoby decides to enforce the rules, that the deliveries must still be made. There just needs to be a new dealer, and that person should be Malcolm. And terrified, Malcolm finds himself unable to act. This is a fantastic play on twists and subversions, as a story of a nerd, an outsider in so-called black culture. We so much of an outsider that a lot of his song choices actually get met by confusion and laughter by the people in the system. That it paints him so much more as an outsider. Even this person who was probably around during that time of hip hop, that he laughs at the names he's calling out. Um, anyway, they now put him in a situation where he does not even know how to get out of it. He has to join the entire drug trade. First of all, even if he could, that would mean the end of all his dreams and goals, and he would just be another part of the issue. And that's even if he has the social skills required. More likely, he will be killed before he even has a chance. And in those few weeks he's been given will probably not even last a couple of days. This is an extreme low. That should have actually been the middle of the movie. This should have been the exact middle of the movie, by the way. This is the marker where you're like, oh shit, it doesn't get lower than this. Cool.
Side note,
Mhm.
the performance of this actor, I forget the actor's name, as he was playing Austin Jacoby. I was just like, there's too much whispering going on here.
What?
I'm not a fan of this whispering. He's whispering to
Okay.
Malcolm the entire conversation.
That is
I
true. Yes.
I didn't that
And I'm
no
like, is
never
this
even
supposed to be scary?
that never crossed my mind. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'd have to watch that scene again.
I'm
He's got a
telling you,
low voice.
there's a lot of Malcolm. So you're gonna make the deliveries, and
Like
I'm
Clint
like,
Eastwood
is
vibes,
this?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, I would like you to enunciate.
I would say
Okay.
I felt like that with Jason Statham in the movie called War. I'm like, I could barely hear what he's saying in that movie, bro. It was so weird.
Yeah, to me that felt like bad sound design. I was like, okay, someone
But
lift his
anyway,
like a Christopher Nolan movie. Yeah.
mm,
Um,
backwards boys, Tenet.
so yeah, outside of his office, he's at the bus stop, completely exhausted, when his mother, the bus driver from before, picks him up. She thinks the interview has gone badly, but she has no idea how badly. So he just sits at the back of the bus, and his friends show up. Even the three gangsters and all the people of his life start to show up. This is clearly all in his head as they all look at him. Also, in the bus is the guy who died at the start of the movie, the nerd who died, and he's just kind of sitting there because he has to think about what's just happened.
It was a good scene.
Anyway, we open. Yeah, it was a beautiful scene.
Also,
It was amazing.
it reminds us that Lakeith Stanfield is in this movie.
Yes.
As a 35-year-old high schooler.
There we go. I was waiting for that. I was like, there's got something
No, I don't
wrong
think he was
here.
in his 30s at the time, was he? That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He did not look like he was a high schooler. I was just like, you're trying to sell Keith Stanfield as a high schooler here. Next to Shamik Moore, I'm just like, yeah, okay. Unless you're trying to say he's failed the grade a lot of times. But anyway.
All right, so we're 60 minutes in. We open on a report of the aftermath. We open on the problem, the groups. So yeah, it's a funny report of the guy talking, and then we switch to the group doing the Star Trek style talking about what to actually do next. And they actually come up with a plan, something very softly mentioned before, the dark web. We find out the potential answer in the narration, to which we are, through narration and montage, we are introduced to a new character, 60 minutes in, by the way, into a new character called William. And this is why I probably needed the
AKA Captain White Savior. Wow.
Yeah, bro. This guy, the way they introduce him way later in the movie, but it's as if it's like way early in the movie. I was like,
Yeah.
this is so weird.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm trying to say is this.
That's what.
But what I'm trying to say is this dude is Deus Ex Machina in a character. He just solves all the problems.
Yeah.
I mean, say that per se. I mean, he's presented as a potential solution to their problems, yes, because but they set it up. They set up that they're going the direction of being a nerd instead of being a gangster, because they know they can't be a gangster, so they go in the opposite direction. And I think that's why the narration exists. It's not just because they want to talk when they don't need to. It's because they understand they're gonna have to explain a lot of shit to a lot of people later on. So they try to set it up
No,
earlier.
I get that. That's not where I'm saying he's a Deus Ex Machina. It's more towards when we get to the climax, where I'm just like, okay, but we'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah, no, to be fair, he does have like weird superpowers where it's like, oh, thank God you knew this guy. But I hear what you're saying. But we'll get into that. So yeah, they come up with a plan. They find where it appears William, who may have turned they go through the montage of William, and then you see Lily as well, where it's like, yep, small world. And it, like Lily, like he may have introduced Lily to dope. Who knows? Anyway, 65 minutes in, because that's how long the montage took. They take extreme time to explain, yeah, this during the montage, who William is, and then they actually dedicate a scene to actually working to convince him to help them. Like it's a whole scene that takes 3 minutes.
Yeah, where he's dropping where he's dropping N words like what's this? Like he's a freaking rapper in the 2000s,
well, he's
throwing
trying
money in
to,
the club or something. No,
yeah.
and this is the scene where everybody annoys me because Lily's the only one that slaps him, and I'm like, she's right. Like according to how I understand American politics, especially around 2015, like wasn't that the time of Black Lives Matter? It was popping up and bubbling and all of those things.
Yeah, but when you're trying not to die, Buck, hear me out now. He gets to say the N-word. I understand setting up for your rights, but gangsters are going to kill you. And you
I'm
need
sorry, where was that logic when there was Lily in the house and she was topless? If there's that level of self-preservation, I feel like that would have kicked in at the young boys club. Anyway, it was fine. I'm just saying, as a movie, I'm surprised nobody came out in the movie and was like, "Dope needs to be canceled now." What is this nonsense?
No, man,
I'm just surprised that didn't happen.
Yeah. So yeah.
2015?
Actually, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, then yeah, this also works with the same irreverent mix of dark and copy banter. But you can see who it's kind of funny in this scene. You can kind of see who they are scared of and who they aren't. Which I wonder about that being such a good idea because, but I guess you need the variance where it's like, okay, they can't be scared of everyone, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, after at 68-minute mark, after 3 minutes, they finally get him to agree, and things begin with a. Honestly, I kind of found this fascinating. It felt like a Mission Impossible style heist setup. After the recruitment comes the mission. In fact, there's likely a strong argument to be made. This is actually more of a Mission Impossible movie than some actual Mission Impossible movies, especially number 2. The beginning environment is set up with a slight twist, but then we get the inciting incident, we get the failed mission, we get the escape, we then get the new paradigm recruitment, and then the main mission itself, the setup. This is very much like the first Mission Impossible movie, if you think about it. Anyway, we see the setup, we see the operation set, and now it's time for action. And the mission has started. Anything? Notes?
No.
Nothing.
Well, again, the explanation and the breakdown of the operation by Malcolm, some of it is way too convenient.
Okay,
it's just like they have no cameras. I'm saying they have no cameras in the computer labs to see you guys surfing the web, or the teachers are just okay with, like, when are you doing this?
Yeah, I was asking myself the same question,
all of
like
those things.
Not necessarily cameras, but when they look at your IP address and check your history, don't they see what you guys were researching?
Well,
no, I mean, they're saying that they're using a Tor browser, so I get that. That's the workaround around that. My question is that when is this lab open for you to be able to just do this whenever? And I'm saying, like, how long do you get to spend in the lab? Are they doing this in their lunch break?
After school,
it takes
maybe?
them an hour? Because this is a very elaborate setup.
Remember, they've set up after school activities in the beginning of the movie, the opening montage where you see the janitor pissed off because he wants to clean and they're still doing stuff at
Yeah,
school.
they still
I feel like they
have their band.
But I'm saying they don't have any supervision. But they don't like after school. But I'm saying after school activities would have to be supervised. Like, you can't just be in there by yourself, because now they're just letting kids jack off with the computers.
True, but they set it up already that doesn't happen. Like in the beginning of the movie, they set up that.
But then, I mean, logistically, to me, that doesn't make sense. But anyway,
I hear you,
never mind.
but
Move on. No, forget it. If it's a rule, if it's a rule in the movie, fine.
Yeah.
There's other things.
Cool. Okay, cool. 70 minutes in, it's the next morning. They have succeeded. They played to a crowd, and holy shit, they are going viral.
Again, you're in the drug trade. People are trying to kill you. Why are you plastering your face everywhere? I'm living underground until this is over. I'm not on social media.
That's the whole point. They're leaning into their nerd angles because they're nerds. Turns out they can hang with the white kids. They're just acceptable to be acceptable.
Maybe, but I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't want to be catching 100,000 views, and I'm in the drug trade, and there's people looking for me. But anyway,
yeah. So I got some cool Star Trek discussion vibes here. Because again, it's like Picard, Worf, and Riker. They are creating a drug fixation when I guess when white people take the drugs, it's a good thing. This is a great import. This is of great import on the montage we saw in. Oh yeah, this is a great improvement on the montage we saw in the Bad Boys movie. Far more plot heavy and useful. Because again, I think the Bad Boys movie was chasing atmosphere. These guys are chasing plot. And
Mm.
we'll get into that later as to what
Which
that really
montage are
means.
you referring to, bro?
The middle of the movie where we said things were kind of getting boring now because there were.
I think in Bad Boys 1 when they're
Sorry, not Bad Boys. Did I say? I mean Boys in the Hood. Sorry.
it's Bad Boys 1, right?
No, Boys in the Hood. Sorry, the
Oh,
movie
Boys in the Hood. Oh.
where you saw the montage where the guys where Trey's trying to hit on the girl, trying to get him to sleep with him,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
oh boy is sitting on that
Ah,
Latino
yeah,
When
yeah,
boy,
Chris was
yeah,
and they
playing
go
yeah,
with
to
yeah.
his with
college,
his
they go to
wheelchair and
university.
stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, and they beat up that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
That was more atmosphere. This is more plot. So I think that's an interesting little like difference there,
Yeah.
improvement. Because again, it's about that scene is about in the same time period as about this scene. So again, that was also a middle of the second act. This is also in the second act. It's kind of a vibe that anyway, 74 minutes in, things get so big that they are noticed by the FBI. They have gotten way too big. In the next moment, the huge thing happens. Zoe Kravitz shows up because she needs help studying. I won't lie, I literally forgot about this character and this entire plot element.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying is that
I'll be
I
back.
feel like it was a waste of her. Like, I feel the same way about the mom. I just feel like there was like I felt like there was supposed to be a setup there that was going to be like an emotional draw for Malcolm as a character, and then she just kind
Yeah.
of disappears. So I mean, but we get here to Zoe Kravitz as well. Zoe Kravitz is also like she was part of the inciting incident. She was like kind of set up to be a big character, and then she disappeared for a very long time, and then she comes back into the plot. And like her scene when she's back into the plot, it doesn't really push the plot forward. And I guess it kind of creates a rift, but we'll talk about that when we talk about it. But it's just in general, I'm like, I feel like she should have been doing more in this plot.
Oh yeah, that's a
And
fair argument
unfortunately
for that.
she like and I feel like maybe it's rewrites and cutting room floor stuff that we're
Well, yeah,
looking at
because
with her
again,
character.
you don't need her until as much. But at the same time, I think you're 100% correct. It's just she's not needed so much. So that ends up being very, like, I don't say a distraction, but no, I actually 100% agree with that. It's just, I mean, I get why you don't have her, but it would make more sense if she was more there. Because she just kind of shows up and in a way,
Like I said, a Jiminy Cricket situation. She knows that
yeah,
Malcolm is involved with ASAP Rocky's character. I
yeah.
keep forgetting that character's
Even though
name.
she doesn't understand fully how, because she knows she's not
Yeah,
a,
but
he's,
I'm saying like if she knows that this dude is insane. Like she knows that this guy's in the drug game. So
mm,
any connection Malcolm can have to him, she can automatically make the assumption that it's not good. So her
well,
being into I'm saying her being into education and
mm,
her wanting to learn and better herself and seeing Malcolm has a talent for education and all of those things. I feel
yeah.
like her like again, just the light side, dark side Jedi situation where she's trying to pull Malcolm away from this thing. And then
Oh, yeah.
Malcolm, because he wants to keep her safe, can't tell her all the details because he's not in it
Yes.
because he wants to be. And I feel like that
That's
would
fair.
make a lot of tension for those two characters.
Fair.
Again, it doesn't have to happen often, but
Yeah.
just here and there in the montage when they're playing to crowds and stuff, have him meet up with her and then have them talk about it for like a minute or so or
Yeah,
something.
why
I
not,
don't know.
right? Or at least see each other passing or something. But at the same time,
Yeah,
I actually do
but
understand what you're I actually fully understand. I actually completely agree with what you're saying. Having said that, though, I do understand in terms of like if you think about it in the moment, I actually kind of low key understand what's happening because in a way, seeing her out of nowhere, when this whole situation is about that I'm about to describe happens, you kind of understand how Malcolm might feel to react so suddenly. But anyway, I'm gonna get into it actually.
yeah,
Yeah. Let me just get into it so you can understand what I'm about to say. Cool. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I don't really think this was a great thing of him having out of nowhere, but with her arrival, we found out that a lot of ASAP's boys have been killed. It might even be a full-on hood takeover that would have gotten them killed had they been part of it, as more of the boys would have been killed, as Ace's boys would have been killed. So in other words, if Malcolm had tried to go the non-nerd direction, there's a very good chance that Malcolm is dead right now. So clearly there's some kind of something happening there. And like we said before, it's never explained. It could be, but it isn't. Which is very, yeah. But anyway, there is perhaps one of the best moments of the movie as we get Malcolm kind of having an explosion. Zoe has been talking about this whole situation, opening up her heart, though upon repeated listenings, I could completely understand if someone would be like, "Hey, is this chick wearing a wire?" Because like the way she brings up Tom, or I think that's his name, Tom, um, aka ASAP Rocky, yeah, Tom, that's his name. And asking about him after calling her. I in the situation I would feel sus about that too. Um, so so anyway, just give me one moment. So yeah, so she loses her shit completely. He loses his shit completely, which she does not take well. Um, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this after all the tension that's been building up, after all the stress, after him having to change so much about himself, he blows up and suddenly, because all of a sudden he seems fake. The studying, which, because remember, in studying, he's like, wow, you're already good at this. So the studying feels fake too. Because it feels like she didn't need the help. You know what I mean? And then because Malcolm calls her a fast learner, so it all seems fake, the crying, everything. And then he says some crazy shit. And oh my God, does she flip out? She flips out at him completely, and he freaks out as well because he realizes that he screwed up. After that disaster, the idiot then forgets that the schools have drug searches. As is common sense.
Forget.
But ironically, this is something I like about what? Yeah, he forgets, or yeah, that the schools have drug searches. Hell, my school had drug searches, and that was a fucking Model C school.
I don't think he forgot though.
Drug, no, he didn't know that drug searches were a thing. Is that better?
I think he was well aware that he was going
Something there was some lapse.
No,
No,
he
but the
didn't
thing
know that.
but the problem is that in the scene, they like he asked questions like, "Do they search for drugs?" Like he says
Yeah,
something to that effect,
yes, and then
and
the
then
guy next
everybody's
to him
like,
was like,
and then there's
yeah,
a one guy next to him is like, "Duh, nigga," and then he's like, "Oh
yes,
shit," and then he like
yeah,
runs to go
Oh,
get the
okay.
drugs out of
Sorry. I
his.
think I'm
yeah,
mixing.
yeah,
I thought you guys were talking about the entrance, but I see you guys are talking about people actually coming in to search the lockers and stuff. Okay. I get what you mean.
yes.
All right.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
All right, cool. So yeah, anyway, was that yeah, because the reason that no one has ever suspected him, there's a consequence that he would have no idea about the reality of thinking of school searches. Because again, like they never think of him, he never thinks of them. And I think that's a nice 1-2. And I really like that. So now he's stuck running for his life as we are stuck, as we are struck repeatedly by bait and switches. And again, the very cop that should be locking him up ends up accidentally helping him. Um, and then he just takes his bag into class, and it's like, it's an exam. Can you do it?
The security guard, ne?
Yes. Mr.
Yeah.
Security is like, Stacy or whatever, is like, yo, what are you doing? Go to class. Yeah, here's your bag. Off you go. So he ends up helping him. Dog's losing his mind. He's like, yeah, it's fine. Go. So I actually think that's a nice little connection to the first and to the whole, like, Dog's not him being so obtuse. It works both ways. But anyway, 75 minutes in, things fall apart as they are safe at home. The two friends, aka Worf and Riker, they don't want to do this anymore. They are officially freaking out. But with the help of Worf, aka what's the lesbian? Yeah, Diggy, there we go. They pull it together, and because things are almost over. And then the bag drops as they want the cash, but they realize that there's a new danger there. The danger of them being traced. William, their go-to explains how they are going to be able to get the money out of the Bitcoin, and it comes back to a type of underhanded deal. So it's like they're back in the first situation, which feels like a huge backstep for their cool alternative, but it has to be done. And you end up with them in a sweatshop where Malcolm has to punch the guy in the face, and he actually does it. This after his friends take off running, they've taken the Kuto method. Look, it's not
what kind
us.
of test was that anyway?
Ah, dog, it was just insanity. It was ridiculous. But hey,
It's
man,
like hit me or run. If you hit me, then I know you're down for this. I'm like, dog, I could hit you out of reflex, but by my
oh,
hitting you does not determine my gangster level. I'm
I feel like all other gangsters would have hit him. I'm like, the only
Also,
two people
I
would have not
don't
hit him.
know whether he won or not because I don't know whether he was supposed to hit him or not.
No, he did. He was
no,
supposed to
he was
hit.
supposed to.
And the part that's great
But
about it,
I feel like that guy's nose. I feel like that guy's nose and face should just be busted up. Like he should
Yeah,
just have
because
black
what
eyes.
kind of a
If
test
that's
is
your
this that
test,
every random guy that you meet has to beat you up for you to know whether they're legit or not? What the fuck?
hitting someone while he's holding a gun is interesting, definitely. But I also feel like what this is a nice little storytelling. Now, of course, we all know the hero's journey. I'm going to use the sheep and the wolf as a storyline. For those who don't know, I think it's a Japanese story. Fucking fascinating. So basically the idea is these sheep are being terrorized by wolves, and this baby sheep, after losing its mother, I think, is like, I don't want this to happen anymore. So the sheep starts training. He goes out into the wilderness, starts fighting other wolves, and comes back as strong as ever.
What the
But then the
fuck?
sheep end up, I know, right? It turns out to be like a buff sheep, like almost like a fucking llama, but not buff. Um, but it comes back, and then ironically, the sheep look at him as the wolf now. Uh, and it's a great story. You must find it if you can.
Is it a
Um,
wait? This is a what is it? It's a movie?
no, I think I saw a short animation of it, of like a Japanese thing, but I think it's based on a Japanese storyline. But the idea is the hero's journey. And what's happening right now is this is a marker, a thing of where he has to make a change right now. Because he's embraced his nerddom very deeply, and now he has to embrace that gangster side that he's been ignoring, the quote unquote black side. Do you know what I mean? If you could say the nerd side is the white side, now he has to embrace his black side. And like really kind of like merge the two now. When he hits the guy, and then of course the second part of that is with Lakeith Stanford later on. Um, but anyway, he pulls it in, he comes, he holds and hits the guy. He actually does it. He does the thing. And even after his friends take off running, the guys pull out the yeah, which yeah, the kids sneakily run back in, which is really funny. The deal goes off. Like actually they succeed and they're off. They've got the money now, and everything is great. When the Keith Stanford shows up, the guy that stole his shoes, who
His
you are
shoes.
absolutely were supposed to have forgotten about him. And I don't know about you guys, but I successfully forgot about him beautifully.
This
So
is
when this
like the
came up, it
fourth
was
villain, isn't it? Because
yeah.
yeah.
And he comes up in full
hey dog, Malcolm has a rogues gallery at this point, dog.
oh
He's
yeah,
Spider-Man at this
enemies
It's
to
like
point.
fight.
most.
But that's the thing though, because remember, it's kind of like City of God, where there's lots of characters because the characters represent, again, that's why they don't need dimensions, because they represent the hood. This is City of God levels, where they
Yeah.
represent the hood, they
It's
represent one emotion.
it's those kind
They're
of
not supposed to
situations where the location is actually the main character, like Gotham,
exactly
for example. Yeah.
exactly. And each character is a dimension of the location.
Yes.
Um, so that's how the location is three-dimensional. Full as two-dimensional figures. So now, and he whips out that gun, and the Keith Stanford in a rather clunky, weird scene, but I do still kind of like the point of the scene. Where the Keith fully acknowledges him. He's not even doesn't even hold a grudge. He's like, "Oh, all right, fair, bro. Oof, you look one of us." You know what I mean? Like he
Mm.
gives like that kind of reaction.
Which would that happen again? I'm not a gangster. Gangsters, please comment in the comment
You
section
know
down
what?
below.
Next time we do a movie like this, we need to get a real gangster, and then we'll consult him in these moments and ask if this is legit or not.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yep,
like,
yep.
also, Lakeith Stanfield, that hood. There's no one else who had a gun in his crew at all.
Doesn't matter. The other gun is out already. You can have your gun in your back pocket all you want. But if the other guy's gun is already out, then what
But
discussion?
I'm saying, I feel like the other guy. I'm saying, I feel like the other guys would have pulled guns also. But anyway, what do I know? I have a later criticism for that later. And this scene is fine as it is. It's like, I actually think it's the best scene or one of the best scenes in this movie.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good, good, good. Yeah, he has to use that gun that has been in the bag the entire time to aim at the bully, who is now dressed up as a blood, so full gangster attire. This is perhaps his biggest low. I think one might call this a dark heart of the soul low. I don't know actually. It seems a bit late in the timeline, but you know what? We'll accept it as a dark heart of the soul.
All right.
88 minutes in, we're back with Mr. Jacober. And the money is dropped off successfully. Malcolm, but here's the thing, Malcolm isn't just paying it off. He's done more. Not only has he only taken about 10% of the actual total, he's left the rest in Bitcoin. One moment. In Bitcoin, but put it all in Jacoby's name. And now in the most Mission Impossible way. And heist way, one could say Ocean's 11 specifically, but mainly Mission. Actually, no, I think the whole Ocean's franchise, 1 to at least 10 to 11 to 13, and Mission Impossible. We get the classic, this is what we actually did as compared to what we showed you moment. So those flashes we saw in the before are re-shown to us, but with new context. So when they were explaining William going into server rooms, we thought it was about his backstory. No, turns out that server room is the server room from Mr. Jacoby's thing. It's the same server room. So now we get some recontextualization of scenes.
Which, how did he do that?
Dog. We get flashes that show the mini twists in expectations. They hijacked his account. They didn't hijack. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. When you thought they hacked the school, no, they weren't hacking the school. They're hacking Mr. Jacoby. When they were talking about the risk of the FBI catching on to them, turns out that was actually on purpose. The FBI didn't catch anything. They were fed something.
They were just giving them clues.
Exactly. Mr. Glasses wasn't like, oh my God, what is this? No. Turns out when I was describing it as them being too big, no, they weren't too big for the FBI. It was them feeding the FBI so that the FBI could keep an eye on
It's like getting an IOU letter in the bank after it's been robbed. And it has a whole signature and everything.
Exactly. Yes. So, and it turns out everything was intentional. Everything was a part of his trap. And as it turns out, he was way smarter than we thought. And now we are 91 minutes in, the length of a normal movie, of the average movie. And are we home safe? Yes. Potentially one of the initial stories has come to an end. We see who he has become, the person who was there. He hasn't changed his passions and his loves and points of appreciation. It's a near montage of his fundamental changes to his life. The big idea being...
This is the speech.
He's still jerking off.
Just side note. Again, side note. It's just to quickly just go back to that thing. I did not like the Deus Ex Machina of the white hacker dude, because my thing is that he just walked into one room from another room, and I'm like, the secretary just let you do that? Did you give her drugs? Did you smash her? Why is she just letting you waltz in and out?
I'm white.
Of a
you're
server
white.
room with no security.
Right privilege.
I'm white, you're white. Here's the keys. No, I'm joking. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. No, that had to be what happened, actually, because it's like, just walk into my boss's server room. Like, that woman is so fired. You just let that happen?
Unless if you pretended to be IT, I think.
Okay.
Even then, like, okay.
But even if you're pretending to be IT, you can't just walk into a server room. And also, they would have to have their own IT crew to maintain that server room anyway. Why would they need an outsider?
Yeah.
Actually, funny enough, what you're saying plays into one of the main themes with the handbag, with which they say in the speech with the guy, where they say, yeah, you're right, this will all look staged, but because you're black, if from Ingleton, fuck your Harvard thing, you're still a black man from Inglewood. So they're not gonna be like, they're not gonna defend you, they're gonna go after you. So ironically, maybe his whiteness is exactly the handbag situation. It makes sense that his handbag is new because he's white. So therefore, it makes sense that he can walk in there because he's white. That could be the reason. Though it could be that, remember, another reason that the flashback could, now that's of course that's speculation. Another viable option is the reason that he knows that girl, Lily, is because it turns out they're all from remember that guy doesn't own that company. So it could be because remember that in the initial flashback they say he broke into his father's server room, I believe. So it could be possible that that guy's father and the thingamajiggy have connections, which is why he knows Lily, which is why William knows Lily.
Yeah,
It's also a
I have a
viable.
feeling they could be friends or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, turns out the
Maybe, but then why was he? But then why was he wearing the V for Vendetta mask as he was hacking this thing? I feel like that's just adding suspicion.
These are good questions.
I don't have
Anyway,
an answer to
let's
that
move
one,
on.
but it's a good question though.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, so anyway, the idea is him still being him. He is not living in the moment, in the past anymore. The boy who he's now living in the moment. The boy who threw himself into the weird is now blending with the normal. We settle with the bully who has now a newfound respect. Turns out having a gun in your face makes people like you. We settle with
Bruh, that was what? I was like, is that how that goes?
It turns out that's how that
Side
goes.
note,
Yeah.
You know how
side
it is
note, I
with
don't like this
movies,
speech section.
Mm-hmm.
like
Say it again.
Karate Kid, for
I'm saying,
example.
I was just, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, please continue, sir.
I don't know the Karate Kid one. Okay, I was trying to say this quick. The Karate Kid one made sense to me in a sense because remember, what was this Daniel LaRusso when they cripple him on the leg or whatever, and he still gets up to fight. That guy who's like he's known karate to be tough. He's known karate to be a tough man sport. He's seeing Daniel LaRusso, the guy he used to kick the shit out of, stand up on one leg and crane kick him. So that form of respect, I kind of understand. This one here, it weirds me out because I'm like, gangsters get guns pulled on each other all the time, and usually it results in the other guys like, if you didn't shoot me now, I'm coming back to shoot you. So that nod of respect, I was just like, okay. And then also, I'm not a fan of the speech. It just feels like it's the movie telling me the ending instead of showing me the ending. I was not really a fan of this jumping
But I
around.
think that's why Rob mentioned
And if I
the
was,
Oceans franchise, because I remember
yeah,
in 13 when Clooney was talking to Pacino, something like that kind of happened.
but that's what I'm saying. At least he's talking to Pacino. Here, I feel like Malcolm is talking to
He's
me,
talking to us.
and I'm like,
Yeah, he's talking to you. It's second person. Yeah, it's in second person.
and I'm like, I don't like that. I didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
Anyway, continue, please.
Fair. That is customer is always right in aspects of taste. No, 100%. Anyway,
Yeah.
we settle with Tommy, aka ASAP, who is out again. Of course he is. And he gets his gun back. We settle with the girl, aka Zoe, aka Nokia 3310. I think that's what you said, Kutsa. And
Nokia
he
3310.
apologizes. Isn't that what you said?
Oh,
You say
Nokia.
Nokia.
Oh, yeah, that's a name.
Yeah, 3310, yes.
Yeah. She secretly has family members in Wakanda. But anyway, moving on.
Yes. We settle with her as he apologizes, but that one turns out to be a little complicated. Yeah, but they end up like because he doesn't end up going to the prom. She doesn't go to his prom, but they still hang out afterwards. Yeah, going to prom alone. Anyway, we finish upon him going home, and we see an admission letter. He opens it and looks up at the camera. And the end. You guys want to go first?
Didn't he sort of like do his poem thing?
Yeah, he did this, like you said, montage thing was kind of the poem thing, like Buck said. That was remember he's doing all these things while the montages happen.
It was supposed to be the biographical letter. And again, did he just admit to Harvard that he was a drug dealer?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Wouldn't that get him kicked out?
Nope, not in America and in the 2000s. Yeah, in the 90s, absolutely. They'll probably send it to the police. But we're talking about the 2010s.
So what changed?
The 2010s was what, more
Trump
liberal?
kicked an Asian person out the way to give him space. Don't you remember the court case? You guys never heard about that? where the Supreme Court
Which one?
Supreme Court discovered they sided with the Asians because it turned out that Harvard and all these other major league schools were basically giving black people an extra 300 points and then reducing like 600 points for Asians in order to make space. So I think that's entirely possible. But you guys never heard about that. That shit was deep. It was fascinating. Actually, you guys need to look it up. It was
No,
because
never
it
heard
turns
about
out,
it.
Yeah, maybe I'm missing context.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's
No,
what I
not
mean.
maybe. I am.
In the movie, that's not what they're talking about, of course. I mean, the movie, the idea is you've lived life. Because remember, he's done all the things that's required to be in Harvard, right? To do the charity thing, he's done those. He's doing basically the whole theme of the movie is he's done all the little things that will get him into Harvard. As a white person, you'd already be in, but he needs something extra to make him interesting. I believe another movie did this as well, actually. I
Fresh
don't think
Prince
it's
did
Finding
that
Forrester.
recently. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, well. Fucking French press. You talking about that's the TV series? I mean, whatever
Yeah,
it's
Bel
called.
Air, sorry, Bel Air.
Yeah, ballet or whatever. But I'm talking. But
Oh,
yes, I think Finding Forrester did it. I want to say Spanglish did it. But the idea is, hey, um, I have a normal white boy thing that would normally get me in, but as a black person, it wouldn't get me in. So what I need to do is something unique and to make me stand out because everyone's done the same charity things I've done. Everyone's done the same after mural things that I've done. So how do I get in? And as it turns out, well, yeah, him being a drug dealer as well was what was the thing that made him unique. And to be fair, he never admits it. He's like, which story sounds better? It, yeah, which story sounds better is what he says. He never admits to selling drugs. He just says, hey, there are these stories of these two boys. Which one do you think would get me in? Which is kind of the ending of Life of Pi. I don't know if you guys know about that, the movie Life of Pi.
yeah,
Are you talking
where
about the end
basically the
where
animals.
he's talking to
Yes,
the
where
guy who was
they
telling him the story and he's trying to figure out which ending is
yeah,
the real one?
exactly. Where he's talking to the auditor or the insurance people or whatever, and they're like, okay, which one would make more sense to you? That's
Yeah.
yeah, basically
You know
whichever
that
one.
role
Yeah,
was initially meant to be for Tobey Maguire.
thank God it wasn't for him. I don't think it would have suited him. I love Tobey Maguire. I think he's one of the best actors of our time, but I think that wouldn't have suited him because
Yeah.
he's got such a unique face, and it just wouldn't have worked. I'm
Yeah.
glad they got whoever it was.
The
But
British
anyway,
All right,
guy,
but
point
I
is
then
forgot his name.
that's the
are we at the end of the
idea.
movie?
Yeah, that's the idea. So yeah, what you guys think?
Okay, I'll just wrap up my thoughts here.
Yeah.
So just I have a few notes. I feel like I didn't feel the stakes in this film enough. It because and again because I felt like it was a revolving door of villains, and also I didn't feel any menace from AJ in particular because I feel like he doesn't really feature in the plot like that enough, in my opinion. I feel like he's set up from the beginning, but I feel like they needed to do something with him. Like maybe like you know how it's a villain that exists, but people just use his name all the time. And then when you meet him, he's this intimidating
Like
figure. Not
Voldemort.
I mean Thanos is the obvious. Yeah, Voldemort. There's a better example. I feel like I needed AJ to be a Voldemort, and he wasn't a Voldemort for me. Um yeah, the okay, so we spoke about the gun thing. And also I feel like the movie kind of it lacks a little bit of focus sometimes. Like sometimes I get lost in the messaging a little bit because I'm trying to like work out the logistics, and I feel like in a movie like Boys in the Hood, I feel like they had a clearer like line of what they were trying to say versus this one. I feel like the messaging was a little bit muddled here, or they didn't stick the landing for me. And where I feel like Boys in the Hood stuck the landing for me. So it's fine. It's 7.5. I give it a 7. Shamik Moore is great. The characters are great. The end bombs are freaking awkward in my opinion, just because it's a lot of characters a lot of the time, and one of the characters like I'm 11% Moroccan, and I'm like, have you seen a Moroccan? I don't think Moroccans get the pass, but okay.
Good
But
question.
yeah. Anyway, 7, 6.8. I'll It is a 6.8. It's like it's fine and the performances are good,
Anything
but
above
I
a
just
3 is
feel like
shocking for me after this whole video. Anything above a 3 is shocking.
Uh,
Genuinely shocking.
the people
I
Look, I
am
like
the
this
blown
people are
movie.
away.
good.
There
Are
was
you
my
sure?
The people look, the people are good. It's just the plot was not as tight as I needed it to be, and there was just stuff that I needed to get answered that didn't get answered, and there was expectations I had that weren't met. But the people are still, especially the main cast, are still good. The villains themselves, so but anyway, 6.8.
6.8. All right. Kutsu, you want to go next?
Yeah, I like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was my second time watching it. When I saw it initially, every scene, every moment, I was heavily invested in everything that was happening. That's how good Shamik Moore is and was back then. Um, I think apart from some of the questions that I was asking throughout the recording, which Buck also raised, the movie for me is a masterpiece, honestly speaking. It's great. Like, I agree with the Rotten Tomato score even. Why are you shocked? I'm the one that recommended this movie in the first place.
Sound like a big fan. You sound like a big fan. Don't worry. I
What are you talking
I
about?
I could see where you appreciated the masterworks. No, I'm joking, bro.
I only had qualms. I had qualms with the characters in the story, like
Yeah,
booty. You're prioritizing booty over your homies. Stuff like that. Um,
Over your life,
over your
forget
life.
homies, your life, you almost
we
died.
don't want to make more here. The man, his life is ruined because of booty as well. His real life got ruined because of
In
booty.
real life.
Yeah, turns out in every phase of this man's life, no matter fictional or otherwise, he's willing to die for this
Hey,
shit.
hey, when somebody chased you
Yeah.
down
And
with
now
a
the
gun,
girl that
the
he
last
wants,
thing I would be,
the girl that he wants has a bun in the oven now. And I wonder how he feels. But anyway.
Even the second girl that he wants,
you,
even the other girl,
you
that's the
should
one that blew up. The
you should
second
get
one,
over it. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I'm just like, for me, like, you got chased with a gun. The last thing I would be thinking of is how to get some booty when there's a dude who's out there looking to shoot me in the street. But I said this enough anyway. Cam, sorry. Please
It's
get
all
back
good.
to what you were saying.
I think the casting is
yeah, no,
great,
no, keep
man. Everybody actually delivered in my opinion. I don't think there was a horrible actor at all. Well, the only person that I considered to be horrible was the guy that Shamik Moore had to slap to. I was like, this guy is a horrible actor. Like, I don't know why he's here. Is he like a
Yeah,
rapper or something that? Because I
yeah,
don't think he's an actor. I think it's just a
maybe.
musician that was forced to, not really forced. He landed the gig. Because wow, you know. I love it.
yeah.
This is a movie I could watch over and over and over and over again, to be honest with you, and not feel like I'm wasting my time. I think it's well written, despite its loopholes and mistakes and obvious cliches here and there. Nah, I think it's well written, man. I genuinely love it. It's a movie I would recommend anybody to watch. So for me, it's a 9, bro. It's a 9.
9.
Yeah.
I need you to rewatch this video, dog, and tell me it's a 9 afterwards.
It's a
I
M
need to
Night
watch this.
Shyamalan twist. It's a
That
M
is a
Night Shyamalan
What were you
twist.
hearing me say when I was what did you hear me say?
Oh, I actually think that's good. Okay. Cool. So a 9 and then what did you say, Buck? It was a what?
6.8.
6.5.
Okay.
6.88.
I should
Oh,
actually write these
6.8.
down. I need to have a list of scores. But anyway, for me, this was a jam-packed movie. It's filled to the brim with comedy, drama, plot twists, and interconnectedness that links it together. Some brilliant ideas and story making. To me, this was a director and a writer coming together rather interestingly. What I will say is, in terms of City of God and Boys in the Hood, one of their key goals in making the movie is raw, undiluted atmosphere. All of them, I believe, all three movies use some level of, I could be wrong, but I think they all use some level of narration. I know City of God and this one does. I can't remember if Boys in the Hood did. I think it did.
It does. Doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Wait,
does. I think they all use narration, all of them.
wait, does it?
Just,
No,
I don't know.
no, Voice of the Hood
Not
doesn't.
voice narration,
No,
not
it
Yeah,
voice
doesn't.
not,
narration, but you get on-screen narration. You get like
yeah,
people, you
you get
get like
lots of
text that tells
creatures.
you events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say what this one does that the other two don't do, that I would say come at its detriment, would be I would say its focus is almost too much on the plot, which is ironic because technically a story is supposed to have a good plot. Whereas the other ones kind of like almost have a scattered focus of a plot, whereas this one has more of a focus on a plot. And the characters are not three-dimensional at all on purpose. I think they're all designed to tell the story, are supposed to fill in the storyline within Malcolm's head. And I do think this is all an extended poem, almost. Like that poem at the end is the entire storyline. You get this great vision that's being filled in and colored in through plot, whereas the other one was done through atmosphere, where Boys in the Hood cleverly raised the volume of like sound. It used sound so well. And then City of God used environment so well, like to the point where you're like, no one could make a movie. This would cost $1 billion if they tried to remake City of God. That's how fucking intense the use of environment was there.
That's true.
And the use of environment and sound in Boys in the Hood, like with the meeting with the sports scout and with the helicopter going overhead constantly, the strobe lights are like they're in some kind of bizarre prison. It's almost like some esoteric thing, but it's like the guy in the city versus City of God, the guy in the city versus city, and this movie as well, guy in the city versus city. Well, this one I feel like he was being more artistic, and I would say it's actually more focused than Boys in the Hood, and I would even argue, which is one of the greatest movies of all time, one could even argue this has a little bit more focus than City of God, which comes at a cost of atmosphere, but I think it balances itself out to a more continuously jacked and engaging plot. And I think there's been a lot of work done to make sure that things in the beginning match things at the end. I think this was a very cleverly done movie. Like there was a lot of intellectualism, whereas one could argue the other ones had more spirit.
100%.
So so I would say intellectualism versus spirit with the other two movies versus this one. But I do think this one, I would say the other two movies, City of God, Boys in the Hood, and Dove. But then again, these are all masterpieces. So I'm going to give it
I
an
understand.
8.5.
I understand the hierarchy, though. I understand why you would do them like that. I get it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is such a good movie. But ironically, they may have cheated themselves on atmosphere. But again, to me, I know you guys disagree, but I think this plot was done with so much focus and care that every minute mattered. So there was a lot of so in a way,
Yes.
for them to
Yes.
try to go for atmosphere would have cost them plot. So they were left in like a
Yes.
triangle.
Yes.
Plot, atmosphere, pacing.
Actually,
And they
the
had to
only time it feels like time is being wasted is when he's at the bus and he's seeing all those the people in his life at that time.
yeah.
But it
Yes.
doesn't feel like you're wasting time because the character
And
needed
it's
to rest. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Yes, it's good downtime. Yes. It's good downtime after the shocking revelation.
Yes.
So it's needed. So again, 1, 2, 3, and they had to pick two because there just
Yes.
wasn't enough time. And they
Right.
picked plot and pacing, and they had to leave atmosphere behind. And I think it's such a well done movie. I don't even know how I could have made it better, but I do think it just comes together so nicely. It's still third place, but it's a strong third place.
Was it your first time watching this movie?
Second. No, maybe even third, actually. But
Oh.
no, I've
It was
watched
my
it.
first.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like, I would love to hear what happens when you watch it a second time, just to see if anything changes. But again, I'm happy with it. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I don't think it deserves a 9. Because again, there are some things you guys mentioned that I think were completely valid. I do think with everything being so completely interconnected, they could have squeezed in a reason why. what's going on.
I
Like
felt like you
half his
were
crew
not
died.
agreeing with our points, though, but okay.
Because I was because it doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It could have been better. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it doesn't cost it anything, but it could have gained something. Does that make sense?
It does
Like
because
it's cool to
I
have a
know how
piece.
you write, so I get why you would say that. I understand your
Remember,
thinking. I understand your thinking behind that.
yeah,
Um,
because again, to me, it's you don't need. I bet you the thing is, I bet you there's a scene that explains it. Like you guys said, there's a scene that explains what happened, an extra scene, and they were like, "Hey, every second counts here. This is maybe 30 seconds of time that ruins the whole movie. It distracts the viewer
I
because
get
we're
you.
trying to be in Malcolm's head,
I get
and
you.
Malcolm doesn't give a fuck about the gangsters. So therefore, etc. So now, do you get what I'm trying to say? Do you get the
Yeah.
logic? The path is like this, and you just have to just accept that you don't need to know.
I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know. It could be years of anime. Who knows? But I don't know. I just think as a writer, sometimes connective tissue for me is very important, and it's maybe my style of writing anyway, where I'm
Don't get me
trying
wrong.
to yeah, where
Yeah,
I like to connect things in order to give things like in order to motivate a character or whatever. So
yeah.
I just feel like yeah, I just feel like you know, when stuff comes in and disappears, it's kind of like I wanted to see what you were gonna do with that, but now okay, it's gone. So
Not fair.
it's just my personal. I think maybe it's just my personal writing style. I wouldn't introduce something to throw it away later. I feel like if I was gonna throw it away, I wouldn't introduce it in the first place.
That's entirely a viable option, dude. That's 100%. Just again, it wouldn't have mattered to him. He wouldn't have cared because he was just like he barely knew the other people's names. But I get it. I fully understand what you're saying. Fully. Anyway, point is 8.5. And that's it. I guess that's it. That's everyone's scores.
I'm
All
Um,
right, I
surprised.
guess you
I
got to take
thought,
us out of here, Kim.
yeah. No, I just wanted to say I'm surprised because when we were talking about this last week, Rob was like, there's something I'm gonna say about the end. So in my head, I'm like, he is not impressed by this movie. So hearing what
oh
you're
no, Mission
saying,
Impossible thing. The
hearing what you're
Mission Impossible thing
saying,
was
pardon?
yeah. No, I was saying the Mission Impossible thing was what I was excited to talk about. I was like, holy shit, I just
Oh,
realized this Mission Impossible thing
okay.
fits perfectly. And I wanted to like talk about that. And I kind of did. So, I that's what I meant. I guess I may have over excited, I may have what's it? Overcooked it. I made you
Oversold it.
over.
Yeah, oversold it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, guys,
Yeah.
that's dope. Was it dope for you? Or you let us know. Um, yeah, so that's our take on the movie, man. My slot is done. Now we're gonna go back to Rob's slot. It's probably gonna go back to martial arts movies. I don't know. He'll give me his list. But Bug, thank you so much for joining us, man. With your fresh cut there, looking like T'Challa. With appreciate you and your time. Rob, thanks for all your efforts making the notes. There's some great in-depth stuff that you wrote there, as always. By the way, we are working on a website, so some of these things that Rob wrote down are going to be on the website if you guys are interested to read for yourself while you're watching the movie to see whether Rob is talking nonsense or you agree with him. Or, I mean, if you're a film enthusiast like us, this is just, I guess you could say, homeschool for us, having fun, basically. Um, so we'll definitely have a comment section there for you guys to let us know your thoughts on what Rob wrote and stuff like that. So yeah, fingers crossed. We hope everything will go accordingly. Anyway, so from myself, Mr. Extraordinary, Buckmaster Cool, and Rob Sibeko, who I truly appreciate for making this
Like,
happen.
share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah,
Ring
we
the
are
bell for
currently at
notifications so you know when we're dropping videos.
671 subscribers. We are hoping to get to 1,000 this year still. So we hope that you guys continue to like and subscribe. Also check out the Cinema Soda sister channel. We're currently on 41 subscribers there. We're gunning for 500. So yeah, please subscribe, like, share, and all of that. But yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.
Woo!
Peace.
That was our most